Lord, we just thank you for this day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for our team. Thank you for all the work everybody does here. Thank you guys for visit our academy, everybody, at healingproper.com. Healingproper.com. Go ahead and visit the Short Course Academy, everybody, and see how those courses are coming along. We got self-paced courses, we got teacher-led courses. Outstanding. We got television commercials all around the country. So if you guys saw Healing Proper on television, a lot of your teachers are right here on this Zoom tonight. So God bless you there. We got a lot coming up. Let's get going. Rita's going to put that website. Yep, she put that website there. Let me share my screen, and we're going to get busy. Watch all this fun stuff we got here. Let's go share. Let's go here. And then let's bring this one up real big. And let's go slideshow from the beginning. All right. So somebody's trying to get in. Thank you, guys. So it's a Thursday evening teaching series, guys. Extra preparation. So beyond the basics. So we will talk basically about some of the basics because some of you probably are very new and have not been here before. But we deal with country living, sustainability, and preparation. And then we also deal with present truth and what's going on right now, right now. And people say, don't speak dates, don't speak times, don't speak this because no man knows the hour. But we do know the time because our Bible told us when you see. And boy, do we see. So we know we have but a little time. And then Revelation 18 says in an hour, it says it 3 times, within an hour, everything is destroyed. So now we know about the wars, the rumors of wars. We now know about the iron and the clay. And come to find out the iron and the clay is from the United States, basically. Apostate Protestant. And the Pope of Rome is also from Chicago. And the president of the United States, the new superpower, was from the United States. So there's a lot going on. So we see the time. 40, 30, 50 years ago, nobody would have known who the clay was in the feet of iron and clay. Now it's clearly defined who that is. So now we know where we are in prophecy. We're in the toenails of that giant in Daniel 2. So
you muted yourself.
There we go. Thank you. Where'd that leave off?
The toenails.
All right. So we're in the toenail. Thank you, my bride. You're awesome. What's your name again?
Rita Fuller.
I'm Rita Fuller. That name sounds familiar. So the toes of the giant, that's where we are. So now we know, since we know this, nobody can dispute it. They can try, and nobody can really doubt it. So the Bible says when we see. So we're going to be talking about right now the things that we got to do for country living, sustainability, and preparation. Okay, so opening scripture. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye may be not partakers of her sins, and that ye may not, and of her plagues. So you don't want her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquity. It's going to be some devastation on this earth like we've never seen. You can't imagine it, people. You can't imagine it. You can try to imagine the worst, but it's going to be something that will be witnessed and people will see it. Revelation 4 and 5. Tonight we answer the questions when the call to come out is given. And what do we take? Okay. What do we forget? Right? And what extra must we have? So it's going to talk about a lot of things. It's going to be so key because the Bible literally lays it out for us. But of course, as people do, we overlook it. We overlook the importance. And then before I even get started, I want to say this, and I want to say this from my heart. I really do want to say it from the bottom of my heart. I got a Sabbath sermon coming up on this coming Sabbath at 1 o'clock, and I wish you all could join me. And what I'm going to be talking about, and I'll tell you right off the bat, is division in the homes. The devil brings division in your homes, right? So when you got a wife going against a husband going against a wife, I'm not going to move here. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this. Forget your pastor. That Bible ain't right. This has always been talking about that. It's a trick of the devil because you can simply pick up the newspaper and see biblical truths and prophecies in your paper. You can literally see the things that's going on now. I just read today that Rubio's on his way to see the Pope to try to make up for Marco Rubio always see the Pope to try to make up for the disagreement him and Donald Trump had. Huh? So here we are in prophecy right now, and we still sleeping. We still thinking we good, living over there on 93rd Street or wherever you living. You're still thinking you're good, and you're not. Come out of her so that you be not partakers of her sins and of her plagues. If you stay in the city, this tells you you will partake of the sins and of the plagues. There is no if and but about it. That's why it says, come out. We have to trust God with our whole heart. Then family was getting divided. If you're a husband or a wife that you have in that situation, best advice is to follow what God says. Your husband or your wife, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your grandson cannot stand in place for you in judgment. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. Okay. And I can guarantee you this one thing, that if you're obedient with God, you won't be found lacking in that area. You're obedient with God and you follow his commandments and you follow his laws and his statutes and take heed his warnings, because these are not just abnormal warnings. We can see that these are not warnings that's in vain. When you make that homestead, I guarantee you that spouse is going to join you if they have the ability to get out of the city, because it's only common sense. It's common sense. Look at your news, look at what's going on, look at where we are. Okay. So we're going to be talking about that, but that's from the heart, because people are not listening, and we see a lot of that. So welcome to tonight's teaching. Okay. This is going to be a good hour and a half of me talking, because I'm going to bring a lot of stuff. So number one, reveal what we miss. Most, preparedness, let's cover food, water. Tonight, we're going to go further into categories that families forget until that day you actually need it. So we're going to be talking about some important things that completely miss the list and slip your mind. Because people prepare for, like, rough, maybe 30 days, but there's going to be some other things that people don't even think about that you're going to need within those 30 days. Number two, mobilize the land as the ark. So it's going to be important that you understand that your home has to be your ark. It has to be that way. Your land has to be your ark. If you've got all this in the city, it's not going to be your ark. It's going to be somebody else's Walmart. So you need to get out of the cities. That's why the Bible tells us that. So you got distance between you and what's getting ready to go down in the city. You got to come out of the city. The Lord did not tell Noah to pack a bag. He told him to build an ark and fill it. Okay. Our country places must be filled the same way. Now, this is not hoarding. Again, I said that before the other week. It's not hoarding. If you're hoarding, the thieves gonna come in, the moth's gonna come in, take everything you got. This is preparedness. This is covering categories that you need. People don't know, like, there's three kinds of salt: Himalayan salt, pink salt, and then don't forget your iodine salt, because that's important for your thyroid. So we're gonna talk about that. So you're not hoarding when you got a lot of salt or different categories. So it's not hoarding. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about preparedness, having the things you need to be prepared. So, and then prepare for buy and sell restrictions, because realistically, there's several different buy and sell restrictions. One is going to be when nobody no sell, the mark of the beast come in, or because you're not the right kind of Christian, because you worship on the Sabbath, so you don't worship on Sunday, so you can't buy no sell. But then right after that comes the collapse of the entire system, and you can't buy. See what I mean? So there's going to be a couple of periods of no buy, no sale going on, but then it restarts. We're going to talk about that, how it restarts on your ark with your neighbors. So that's why you must have certain things on your ark that we're going to talk about. All right, who keep muting me? Kevin, stop muting yourself. Okay, so don't forget, we got a bunch of falls we're going to talk about. So with three, prepare to buy and sell. So get ready, everyone. All right, so tonight's roadmap, and we're going to go over all 12 of these, okay? 12 sessions that's going to be sections that's going to be very important, okay, for this to work. So we're going to first talk about the Bible foundation of why this is going on. Then water beyond storage, very important. Forgotten foods, that's going to be on the list. So get ready to take notes and snap pictures of the screen, because I'm going to be moving kind of fast. I got 61 slides. Okay. Cooking heat and light. That's going to be key. Sanitation and hygiene, medical, natural remedies, babies, children, and elderly. Pay attention to the children and elderly category. Things there that people completely miss. Bugs, pests, and wildlife. And if somebody see my little mice Wally, don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Okay, I don't have a mice named Wally. I don't know what his name is. But no. So listen, we're going to talk about that, how to get rid of them rodents so they don't take care of your stuff, take your food out, and they'll invite their families over. A mice, two mice, I guess, in a short period of time can produce 130 mice in a matter of months. They can produce so many mice rapidly, it ain't funny. So you want to look at the pest control piece we're going to be talking about. Okay, seasonal provisions, winter different. There's going to be different things you need in the winter than in the summer. And some of your winters still may be in Mississippi or Tennessee where it's relatively warm, but they're still going to get temperatures that's going to change because things are going to be happening in diverse places. Tools and textiles and footwear, going to be very key. Trade and barter skills, something you didn't know about, a little bit different. And then spiritual and records, things that you have to keep track of. So we're going to go over all 12 of those. All right. So we're going to get started first with why this is key in biblical prophecy, in our Bible, and what it says for us, for people who's brand new, have not been here, and don't understand quite what we're talking about. So to leave Babylon, Babylon was the first empire with King Nebuchadnezzar. When they were conquered by the Medes and the Persians, which is modern day Iran, they became the next Babylon. Then they were conquered by Alexander the Great and the Greeks. They became the next Babylon. They were conquered by the Roman Empire. They became the next Babylon. Here we are in the feet of iron and clay, Babylon. Ta-da! Okay, Rome's still at Babylon, and they mix and mingle, and now here we are, Babylon, apostate Protestants, all those kinds of apostate Protestants, Babylon. So whether you want to accept it or not, feet of iron and clay, toes of iron and clay. So we have to be aware that we need to get out of the cities. Not a suggestion, a divine command. Okay, so flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. Okay, Jeremiah 51:6. Get thou out of thy country unto the land that I will show thee. Genesis 12:1. Okay, so the prophetic testimony, out of the cities, out of the cities. This is the message the Lord has been giving me. The earthquakes will come, the floods will come, and we are not established ourselves in the wicked cities. We are not to establish ourselves, not to be there, y'all, where the enemy is served in every way. Ellen G. White wrote that in Country Living, page 9. Okay, so God has called us out, and he will not leave you unprovided for, but the provisions is on you. You have to make sure you get the provisions and the things you need. It's not hard. It's not hard. And then it's not hard. Because for one, when you pray, pray specifically and let God supply what you need. He did not have you come this far to leave you hanging. So look to work and match up with others, brothers and sisters, like-minded people. Let's take care of the elderly. Let's take care of the children. Let's take care of the lame, the blind, the people that need the healing, whatever. Let's get ready to bring everybody on board. So I'm going to try to slow down a little bit because y'all know I get excited. So why extra preparedness, Brother Kevin? Why'd you go there? So there's a lot of things, like I said, 87% of all the things we do when we talk about country living and everybody talk about it, the preparedness, they go with food, water, and then flashlights, okay? So as you guys know, I kind of like to go a little bit above and beyond so that we can cover just about every category we need because your land is your ark. My new book is called To the Country. Let me grab this book. To the Country and Live, the art book, and it's loaded and it's loaded and loaded. It's on Amazon. To the Country and Live, the art book. And this book is loaded with serious things that people don't even think about. And not just food and storage and building and solars. And you can take a spark plug, right? And a magnet and copper wire, make fire, all kinds of things. It shows you here. But this book is awesome. Even burials, even birth, giving birth, bone split, surgery, stitches, all so many things in this guide. It's called To the Country and Live, the Ark. So your land is your ark. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to be talking about the 13% that people miss, okay? So that you not only can you survive, but that you can be sort of kind of comfortable, so to speak, in a way, okay? Because you can have some of the things you wish you had, okay, that people miss. And I'll tell you what those are. When you see them, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. So the first 30 days reveals the gap. Most families discover that they were missing only when shelves are empty and stores are closed. Then you're going to be like, I should have got this. I should have got that. I didn't think about that. That's what we're going to hit up tonight about things people miss. Children, infants, and elderly suffer first because there are special needs for brand new infants. And people don't think about that. There are special needs for the elderly. And people don't think about that. They just think about, okay, let's just get some food, some salt, some sugar. Let's get some beans, some lentils, this, that. Let's get a little bit of oil and get some flashlight. And that's it. And they on their way out the door. And they may get a water filter or two. But there's so much more you're missing. So Babylon falls in stages, not at once. So buy-sell restrictions come before the total collapse. So you got Revelation 13, then you got Revelation 18. Okay, and then Revelation 19, Christ comes back. So it falls in stages. So Babylon is falling. That's when, okay, you got the no sell area that is talking about Revelation 13. Okay, but then, almost immediately after that, and the plagues start falling and everything starts coming. Revelation 18 is right on top, and it's and production is destroyed. All those kinds of things. So we have to be aware of that. The Noah pattern is going to be very key here for you. Total provisions. Okay, total provisions. Noah had to have total provisions because when he parks his ark, and God parks his ark, there is no big box store, no Walmart, no Menards, no Home Depot, Costco, none of that's there. JB Wholesale, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, none of that's there. Everything Noah needs and his family needs is on the ark when they pull into their port. Okay, when God sets them down and they pull into that port, everything they need is there. So, and take thou thee of all foods that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it into thee, and all shall be for food for thee and for them. Genesis 6:21. So all food, not some food. Noah gathered every category needed to sustain life, not just staples, but a variety to prevent nutrition collapse. I used to watch the old pirate stories way back in the day, and they be going, "Ah, scurvy, scurvy." Scurvy was an actual disease when they didn't have on the ships. The pirates stayed out of water so long, they couldn't get fruit, fresh vegetables, fresh things like that, and they get the itching and scratching and all kinds of things because the body had a great deficiency of various things. So Noah took that. We must follow that pattern to make sure we got resources that provide proper nutrition and nourishment for us. Either we freeze dry it, dehydrate it, or dehydrate it, or whatever we do, or can it, jar it, whatever you do, make sure we have those. Okay. For thee and for them, he provided for his household and for the animals that Noah had on the ark. So your country living means stewardship over everybody, everything that's under your roof. You got dogs, cats, goats, sheep. You got to have some kind of provision for them. You have to have that. Keep that in mind. So gather before the rain. Okay. Noah did not wait for the storm to start gathering. Okay. It's raining. Okay, God, you said I'm going to go ahead now and run out and get everything I need. No, Noah did not wait for the rain. Noah got busy immediately. He started building, started getting what he needed. Then he started building. When he got certain things up, he started storing. Okay, the window of preparation closes before the doors of the ark closes. So you have to have those things because pretty soon it's going to be done and you will not be able to gather them. You can't go back after the plagues start falling. You can't go back after the no buy, no sale. You can't go back after people know what's up, what's going on. It's too late. You need to gather these things right now. Don't worry about if somebody say you got too much or you spending this and you spending it or we can't afford that. Get all you can all you get. If you're dealing with the wrong person, partner up with another person, like-minded brother or like-minded sister, that you guys can team up and buy this stuff in bulk, split the cost, whatever it takes, and you guys start getting provisions going. And I'll tell you in a minute, talk to your brother, sister, family, cousin, uncle, niece, nephew that's got land in the South in the country. Put a small container or something on their property, store it, stock it up with some merch so you already have some stuff in the country in the event you got to go. So your land is your art. Okay, so reframing the whole country property is what we're going to talk about. So land as an art, a piece of country ground stocked with food, water, fuel, medicine, seeds, tools, and people of faith. I'll do it again. A piece of country ground stocked with food, water, fuel, medicine, seeds, tools, and people of faith sufficient to carry a household through the time when the gates of the city are shut. So you need to have provision on the ark. This is more than a homestead. It's a sanctuary. It's the place where you're going to be. So we're going to be talking about water sources and backup. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the catchment and all that. Heat structures usable without grid power. We're going to be talking about that. Sufficient food for 12 months per person. I'm going to break that down for you so you understand what that consists of garden plots, seed banks, and tools. Got to have it. Sanitation, waste plans apart from the sewer. Different things there. I'm going to be talking about that and showing you guys some insight, and girls, ladies, some insights on that. Medical and natural remedies. Okay, stockpiles. How to get these things and get these things stored really good. Again, you might want to partner with a like-minded person, somebody especially that's in medical missionary or someone that makes tinctures and makes all these salves and all those things. Be great people to partner with and start buying from them and storing these items. A lot of things you can run out to the stores and get that you don't think about. I'll show you those today. A lot of other things you got people that's in our community that makes them. Okay, and then trade goods. Okay, for the no buy no sell system, things that you can trade with and or barter with. That's going to be a currency. And then you must have a spiritual library, the Bible, the writings of Ellen G. White, hymns, and study tools. You must have these things stored. It will save your life and your sanity, your family. Okay, so have those things stored. Okay, so the buy and sell reality. Here we go. Revelation 13 and 17. The season before the fall. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark of the name of the beast and the number of his name. Revelation 13 and 17. So you won't be able to buy it. So phase one, there's going to be restrictions. Okay, the conscience violating the conditions placed on commerce. Your card declines. Account is frozen. Faithful Disadvantaged right at the register. Nope. And not only it's telling on you, the door may lock on you. You may get trapped in there. So certain things you need to have now. You may go to the store for something you didn't even need and get caught up because you weren't ready. Something you didn't even need. Get the things you need now while we can. And when I tell you we have but a little time, just trust God at his word. If you don't believe anything I say, trust the Bible at what it says. And I don't think anybody here can put their hand up and say they know a prophecy that should have been fulfilled now that has not been fulfilled yet, because we're right at the edge of these. That's here. We're actually seeing these. Phase two, exclusion. No man may buy or sell. Stores closed to the marked refusers. Supply chains, contracts. The land must feed its people, everybody. And then phase three is the actual fall. The fall. Revelation 18. Babylon burns in 1 hour. Okay. Even though still inside, lose access to everything they trusted in. Your money in the bank, your 401k, your 501k, your 601k, retirement, I don't care, money market, doesn't matter what you have, it is gone. Your condominium, your house in the city, it is gone. And in a lot of cases, a person that was in there may be gone with it. So we have to trust God when he says, come out of her, leave the city. That's not there, you all, just for fun. Okay? It's not there just for fun. Please trust trust in your Bible, trust in your reading in your eyes, but lean not to your own understanding, because your own understanding to tell you, I got 3 years before I retire. I got this sitting over there. I got so much stored here. Lean not to your own understanding. Trust God with your whole heart. Noah trusts God with his whole heart. So did Job. Trust God with the whole heart. Lot procrastinated and lost his family. We can't procrastinate. We have procrastinated long enough. We must get moving. Okay. All right. So Revelation 18, the fall of Babylon, when the merchants of the earth weep. The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Anymore. Done. Revelation 18 and 11. No more merchant. That means no business exists at all. Think about any business, any trade, any company, any corporation. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Okay. Okay. What this means for the prepared household, imports stop. Okay. You can't get any more imports. Nothing else coming in on those ships. Refined sugar, salt, spices, refined flour, citrus, bananas, tropical oils, all gone. Done. Now, this also, if you read this again, based off what I'm getting ready to tell you, you're going to see it in a different way. You need to stock up on refined sugar, salt, spices, refined flour, citrus, bananas, tropical oils. So it's not all gone. So there's ways that when you get the moisture absorbent packs and you package these up right in Mylar bags and various buckets and things like that, these can last another 10, 20 years, 30 years. Okay. So this is telling you really thinks it says these gonna be all gone. If it's saying these gonna be all gone, you should be out getting. Okay, these things you need to have. How much I can't tell you, but I will tell you this: how things trade, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. If you got a 50-pound bag of salt, what trades more, a 50-pound bag of salt or a 1-pound bag of salt? A 1-pound bag or even a 1-ounce jar of salt is more valuable than a 50-ounce bag because they can't use a 50-ounce bag. So if you bought a 50-ounce bag and you got you a bunch of small jars, you got trade power. That's going to be your new currency. Okay. So make sure if you buy in bulk, you also reduce it down to smaller quantities, but don't tell anybody how much of nothing you have. So for your safety, for your stockpile, and for the safety for your life and your loved ones. Okay. So if you got a 50-pound bag of sugar or a 300-pound bag of sugar, reduce them down to smaller storage items so that if you only got this 1 gallon or that's out, that's here, something else is somewhere else. Okay. So remember all of that. Okay. Here we go. Pharmaceuticals, y'all. Insulin, blood pressure meds, antibiotics, hormones, alternatives must be in place for those things. Well, antibiotic you don't really want. You want a probiotic, but those kinds of things. But if you guys know anybody that's using these things, you got to have something in place for them now. What's your alternative when nobody no sale or when Revelation 18 and 11, the merchants are done? What's your alternative? I mean, pharmacy don't exist anymore. Pharmacia doesn't exist anymore. Where are you going to get your alternatives from? So you got to have that. Manufacturing goods, stop. Replacement for clothing, done. Shoes, batteries, glasses, tools, Done. What you have is what you're going to have. What's on your ark, what you have right now is what you have is what you're going to have if you're not out getting these immediately. Immediately. I put a chi in there. Immediately. That's like immediately, but fast. Immediately. Get what you can right now. So if you read this again, like we did with imports, replace your clothing now. So if you got somebody that's 12 years old, get something for them for when they're 14 and 15. If you got somebody 5 years old, get something for them when they're 7 and 9. Skip every other year. Order you a few garments right now. Go on to Shein. Go on to a lot of the websites where you can buy stuff in bulk. A couple sizes of shoes, a couple different kinds of shoes. Everybody should have at least 3 pair. And then get them a size and a half or 2 sizes big. They'll grow into it. But in the event of nobody no sell, we're just that close. Okay. If God stays his hand, it doesn't happen right then. There's no foul play there because you walk right into those clothes that you have. Okay. Batteries. We're going to talk about batteries and glasses and tools, things you can store up on. Can't get prescriptions no more because it don't exist. But you can stock up now and get you some of them 2.0s or 2.00s. Y'all know what I'm talking about, 3.00s and all that. You can get some glasses and then tools. Those are going to be your real money, okay? So what you have, you're going to have. And then trade resumes, all right, but locally, person to person, neighbor to neighbor, okay, from hand goods and skills are going to be your money. You'll be able to barter those. So when trade resumes, it's going to be on your property, okay? So public trade is done, all right? All right, so let's start with number one. Let's start with water beyond storage, okay? He that drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. Remember Jesus told that to the lady at the well? Shall never thirst. John 4:14. So we're going to talk about water. Everything I give you guys is going to be something a little bit different. And some of you haven't heard this before. So these other strategies and things that you can do. So we know about 1 gallon per day of drinking water for a person, right? Watch this. 1 gallon per day for drinking and cooking. Double that for hygiene, laundry, and livestock. So now that 1 gallon a day just increased, y'all. So watch this. Water for hygiene, often planned only for drinking. So you only got a gallon of water. That's usually for drinking because you need to drink that much per day. But now you got bathing, dishwashing alone. That needs 2 to 3 gallons of water per day per person. Okay. Okay. Per person. Now look at this. Let's go across. Water for food prep. Soaking your grains and your legumes. You know, you're supposed to soak those beans overnight. You're supposed to soak those beans before you cook them. Okay. For water for sprouting, canning, and washing produce demands separate budget. So you need more than a gallon of water. That's per person. That's why you need alternative water sources on your property, like a hand pump well, a sand pump well. If you got enough land, put one way over there and one way over there, and then one right here, right, real close to you. So you have that as alternative backups for water. You have to, a smart person will do that because you need more water than you think. Water for the garden, drought season. Backup must include a plan for watering food, crops, not only people. You also need water to water your crop. Let's go over to the water for the laundry. Hand washing clothes, 5 to 10 gallons per load. So you need also water to wash clothes. Okay. Okay. And don't discover this in week 3. Don't wait till everything you got is dirty to say, I never stored any laundry detergent. And I never had a resource to do extra water when I could have put in a whole Sandpoint well for less than $300. Okay. And then don't forget what I said, laundry detergent, bars of soap, shampoo, shaving creams. We're going to be talking about the stuff that people miss. Okay. So don't wait till week 3 when everything is stanky. Whoa, whoa, my goodness. What is that? Deodorant. Huh? Okay. These things need to be stored. Hand washing clothes. Okay. You need 5 to 10 gallons of water per day. So that tells you right off the bat, you need more water than the typical 1 gallon of water a day. Okay. It tells you that. Okay. Water for livestock and pets. A single goat, cow, cat, dog, your pet chicken, okay, 1 to 3 gallons daily, half a cup each. Plan accordingly. So if you got animals, if you're a meat eater, what's going to happen? Your animal's going to get ate or they're going to die from thirst. But if you got cats and dogs become part of your family, okay, you have to also provide water and sustenance for them. Noah took those things on the ark. Noah took those things on the ark. Your land is your ark, so consider those things now. And then water for first aid, totally different. Okay, totally different. Womb irrigation, eye flushing, burns require clean water on demand. Set aside dedicated jugs. That's clean already. Set it aside. Okay, make sure it's already sanitized and set aside for emergencies. It's coming. Okay, a lot of people don't think about that. Now, one thing that I would tell you when if you got a mobile home and you travel with a travel trailer, you got a black water tank, you got the drinking water tank, and you got a gray water tank. Okay, so the drinking water is the water that comes in out of that clean tank. Then you got a gray water tank where that goes to that you wash the dishes with. Okay, those kinds of things. Then you got, and then when you took a shower, you got that gray water. But when you use the toilet, so to speak, you got a black water tank that's good for nothing. Gray water in a lot of cases can be reused for other things. So make sure you check that out because you can toss that out in different areas where it can be used for other things. Okay. And some of it can even be filtered where you got the other water you have to dispose of properly. Okay. So I just threw that in there because it'll make sense to you later. All right. So filtration in layers. Okay. Never trust one filter alone. Remember, I told you this, and you'll see this again later. If you got two of anything, just count it as one. So never trust one filter alone. Okay. So you got a sediment screen. So now you have to harvest water. So you got paper filters. You can also, like coffee filters, you can use those to get a lot of sediment out of the water, especially if it's coming from rain catching or a stream. You can pick, you can pour that water in this little coffee filter and it'll take out the sediments, the leaves, some of the things that's there. Okay, then you can use a cheesecloth or a nice cotton t-shirt to help catch some of the leaves and the debris and any other stuff. You still have to boil that water, but so sediment first is what you want to screen against. And then number two, you want to have some activated charcoal. So it removes odor, taste, and organic chemicals made from hardwood, char, crushed, and rinsed. So you rinse all the dirt, all the black out of it. Then that's going to be good to take the odor and the taste, those organic chemicals out of this water that you want to later consume. So the activated charcoal, you can literally buy some charred wood now. They sell those, okay, because it's barbecue season coming around. Now's a great time to go look for a lot of this organic charcoal or the hardwood that's been charred. Now's a good time to go buy a lot of those bags. My wife just bought a couple bags. Now's a good time to go buy a lot of those bags, but put them away. It's nobody's business. Learn later how to grind those up and do things with them, okay? And then ceramic and Berkey types. These are the Berkey sells those water filters that go up to 6 gallons that's non-electric. You can just set them on your counter or you can set them on the ground and you can just dump water in it. Automatically, it has those ceramic filters. It automatically filters your water 99.99, that kind of thing. So it's very key that you guys have those. So it removes bacteria, cysts, parasites, and all those kinds of things. So you want to do that. And then you got replacement candles stored in Mylar bags. They can last decades as well because you'll need something you also need something helping you with boiling. Boiling 1+ minute. Once that water starts to boil, it kills certain things that's there.
You're on mute, brother Kevin.
I muted myself again. How am I doing that? I'm not doing that. My hands were right here. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I see a
Yes,
hand
we
up. It
can hear
says,
you.
thank you so much. Home, I see your hand up. Go ahead. Okay, I see a hand up. Okay, all right. So what did I leave?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I wanted to know about the walkie-talkies. Like, it's
Well, let me
been
finish
way.
this. We'll talk about the walkie-talkies. He called me today. He's on here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Don't you get me
Okay,
off my fighter
thank you.
girl.
Thank you.
No problem. I got you. Okay. So what was I? So the boiling. So make sure we boil that water. Boil the water. It needs to boil for at least once it starts boiling. Let it boil for at least 1 minute. When it's boiling, got to roar and boil. Then you can start it to cool down, or you can boil it 2, 3 more minutes. But the longer you boil, the more the water you're gonna lose. So once it boils, let it boil at least 1 minute, because that kills a lot of those pathogens and things that's there. And then UV and solar. Okay, solar sources. Clear plastic bottles in full sun for 6 hours kills 99% of the pathogens. Okay, that's an emergency layer there. And then the last piece is the chemical backup. Pool shock. Okay, pool shock can help clean your water and kill a lot of the things that's there. But you got to know when you're using it, how to use it, okay? And properly dilute and all that. A lot on YouTube, a lot in the book. We guide you through all those things. And don't forget iodine drops for crisis. So don't forget the iodine. A lot of things, it's a lot of stuff here that helps you get the water going, okay? So catchment sources for water. Water is very important. Build a redundancy before you need it. And real quick, it's very important because if you go at the bottom down to the bottom, it says 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Okay, so plan for at least 3 independent water sources before winter sets in. Now, winter may not be your cold season. Winter could also be the no buy, no sell period. Winter is usually known as a time when it's uncomfortable for most people. So when I use it like that, because we get a real winter here and it's uncomfortable to live outside. But here I'm using winter in a way that it could be that times that's coming up that's going to be hard for you. So let's make sure you have at least 3 to 4 water sources. So a drilled well with a manual hand pump. Okay, at least 2 of those if you can do it. Okay, spring or a seep. If you just got water that's seeping out, or a spring, you want to protect that source with the stone box, put something around it, secure that so you can keep that safe. And that seep or that spring, that little water coming out matters. Trust me. And then a pond or surface water, treat that heavily. Make sure you shock that, get that water as clean as you can, keep that pond clean, and that's a water source you want to protect and put away as much as you can. And then rooftop rainwater catchment in those food grade blue barrels. Blue barrels, you want to get that water down, you want to filter that water, get that water stored, shock it, clean it, treat it, whatever, and then move those barrels and bring in the next barrel. Keep it going, keep it rolling. Save the rooftop water, okay? People really miss that. And then snow melt. Store this in covered drums. Okay, so let that snow melt water fill up, shock it, treat it, store it. Snow melt water is the water. Okay, you can use that. And if it's coming right out of the snow, or you got that, you got 2 feet, 3, 4, 5 feet of snow, you catch that new snow, put it in there. You're going to treat the water later. We need to gather it and store it. Okay, and then dew collection from tarps when you're hardly getting any water. A lot of people throw those tarps out there and let that dew build up early morning, and then they let it go out there, and you see the tarp starting to sag, right? Then they unloose one of the ropes and roll all that down into a container. Don't miss the dew water. Don't miss the dew. Okay. And then catchment hardware. So food grade 55-gallon blue barrel drums. You need multiple of those blue barrel drums. Make sure they're food grade, not ones that had chemicals or acid or those kinds of things in there. And then you need fresh flush diverters for rooftop system, so you can get that out. Gutter mesh to keep on your gutters to keep the leaves and much sediment out as you can. Then you need brass spigots on your, and then Teflon tape is that white tape to go around it, so you can tie those into the blue barrel, so you can open that up and drain those waters. So you can stack barrels on top of barrels and connect them together with PVC pipe. You got to get my book, To the Country and Live the Ark book. And there's a lot that shows you how to do those things. But then you can stack those barrels and gather water, and then you can also treat that water and then get your 2-wheeler and haul that water away. And don't forget your hand pumps. They make the bison pumps. They make those crank pumps to get that water moving, so you can store it in different and 5-gallon jugs and 1-gallon jugs. Okay, and then the 5-gallon stackable jugs for indoor staging is key. They make these 5-gallon stackable jugs that can go 3 and 4 high. Okay, so you can store a lot of water indoors. Do that now. That's something you can literally do now. Store it down in the basement, out of the way. It doesn't have to be in your way. You never need to see it again for a while. Make sure you put a little treatment in there. If you know how to treat it, if you're using bleach, whatever you're using, put a little treatment in there so that when you go back to it, you bring it back, you put it on the stove, you boil it, do whatever you need to do, you're good to go. Okay, so remember, so if you got 2 sources, count it as 1. Okay, if you only got 1 source, count it as none. Get busy making other sources to get water. All right, number 2, the forgotten foods. Okay, remember, we got a lot of these to go through, so we're going to talk about the forgotten foods. Okay, take thou unto thee all the foods that is eaten. Genesis 6:21. All right, so watch this. The hidden food gap. Beyond rice, beans, and wheat, which is what most people talk about, are fats and oils. So you need olive oil, coconut oil. Coconut makes something called coconut fat. Okay, coconut fat. Okay, it's like an oil, but it's from coconut, so it's all good and natural. And you need these for health. You need these to cook with. Then you got avocado oil. You got flax oil, sesame oil, nuts and seed butters, sealed glasses, cool, and then storage them. Seal them, cool, and storage those things. You can put those things together, or you can buy them already done. Azura Standard, if you guys are familiar with Azura Standard, you should be if you live in the country. Because they'll ship right up to the country to one location, then everybody goes and picks up their stuff and head back out to their different locations. So they do coconut fat, they do olive oil, they do all these, and they'll ship it right to your country, not to your country spot, but to your country location. And then you guys pick up on that. Go ahead and pick it up. And then let's talk about salt and minerals. So you need sea salt. You also need Himalayan salt, and then you also need real salt. All of these are real salts, but they all have various different advantages, okay? So then you need baking soda and baking powder, okay? So free but life essentials. These things are calorically but you need them. I mean, these things are so key for you. With real salt, again, it has an iodine in there for thyroid. People miss that. Okay, you got certain things that your body need. Sweetness, raw honey, it never goes bad. Even though sometimes it may get hard, you run that for a while under warm water, run that bottle under warm water. Eventually, it comes back to the honey it was. And then maple syrup, okay, sucanate, dates, date sugar, plant-based options, those kinds of things for sweeteners. Okay, acid and ferments. A lot of people use apple cider vinegar and the mother white vinegar and lemon citrus, this kind of thing, acid powder. Okay, sauerkraut culture. I don't do those things no more, but there's people use them for various different things. You're going to store apple cider vinegar for other things, by the way, so you might as well grab you some of that. Okay, and then grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute the diet chosen for us by our creator. Okay, Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 81. So don't forget, again, the oils. That's going to be very key, that you have plenty of oils. Store those now. Don't use these today when you get them. Don't use them. Don't use them. Don't use them. This is put it away somewhere, out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, in the attic, top of the garage, bottom of the garage, basement, somewhere. Get everything out of the way. Okay, so sprouting and microgreens. This is things people miss. Okay, so why sprouting and microgreens, Brother Kevin? When there's a period of no buy, no sale, okay, living food when nothing else grows, you can sprout microgreens in 72 hours, guys, and you can be eating that immediately. Why this matters? In winters or under quarantine, after the Babylon falls, fresh produce vanishes from the table. Sprouts and microgreens deliver living vitamins, especially C and B complex, from 5-pound bag of seeds, okay, for a month on end. They'll last a long time because you take and you pour those seeds in a jar with water, shake them up, put them out, lay them out there, cover them up, and put a little dirt on them. Watch them sprout. 72 hours, they sprout. You can go ahead and eat those sprouts right then. Okay, so 72 hours from dry seed to living salad immediately. Do not sleep the microgreens. Okay, they sell for like you wouldn't believe. People juice them and eat them in salads and all those kinds of things, and they sell. Then they squeeze them all down and get those little shots of the actual juice and vitamins and thing that's in there. In Chicago, they were selling those back in the day for like $7 to $8 a shot. Okay, like they were buying alcohol. I'm like, what? And as I got exposed, I'm like, wow, that's actual green juice. I got exposed to it. Okay, so start deep sprouting seeds now. Alfalfa, mild classic salad sprouts, broccoli, high sulforinate peppery. Then you got your mug beans. Y'all know about them, Asian style and hearty. Lentils, everybody know about lentils. Radish, wheatgrass berries, sunflower, microgreens, and pea shoots. So all this stuff you can do. Stock up on that now. You can get those seeds in bulk really, really cheap. And at any time when things are going kaput, all you do is go to the dry seed, put them in a jar of water, let them soak for a little bit, get them on this little grass tray you got there, put a little dirt on that, give them 3 days. Boop, 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 boop. Get to eating. Okay, so you keep it going, you got something going. So grains, legumes, and heirloom seeds. Okay, what feeds you this year and then next year. This is what works for you. So you want to deep store staples. Okay, so you want stuff that you know is going to feed you, your family, your neighbor, anybody that you want to help. So you got hard red and white wheat berries. Why is wheat berries so important? Because if you go ahead and buy the flour itself, at some point that flour spoils. It goes bad. But if you buy these wheat berries and you keep them in Mylar bags with the moisture absorbers, last 30 years. Then you can grind by hand, grind your own meal, your own flour at your own leisure. Okay, very important. So you want to store the wheat berries. So right immediately get you some flour, but also make sure you get tons, if you can, a couple 100 pounds or 50 pounds or something of the wheat berries, whole wheat berries. Okay, oats, rolled oats, steel cut oats, oatmeal, y'all, oats, brown rice, vacuum seal the brown rice. Brown rice and white rice. Vacuum seal it. Brown rice does not last as long as white rice. White rice will give you 30 years. Brown rice will give you blah, 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 because it has oils in it. That's why it's brown. So the brown rice has oils in it. So that sometimes those go bad after a year. So in some cases. So you want to vacuum seal those as well with Mylar bags. And then if you let it sit there 2-3 years, open it up. If it's good, you get busy. Okay. So white rice will go straight through. Okay. So you got pinto, black, kidney, navy, garbanzo beans. All these beans are staples, should be storage. There's no doubt about it. Green and red lentils with split peas. You can make you can make meat sausages and things with lentils. You can do so much with lentils, it's unbelievable. You can add all kinds of things. You can do all kinds of things with lentils. Canola, okay, amaranth, millet, gluten-free options, cornmeal, masa harina. You can with that we use that. My wife makes her own tamales, all kinds of things. Palentas, so much there we can do. And then your heirloom seed bank. Don't forget that, because you got your tomatoes, your paste, your slicing, your cherry varieties, get the seeds for all of these things, and you can store all those. You should have an awesome seed bank, and you're growing heirloom seeds so that you can reproduce with these items. Some of it you let literally intentionally go to seed. You got those seeds so that you can continue to plant every year. And then with seed banks, they also work as trade, barter, those kinds of things. So buy heirloom seeds and pollinate one and open pollinated only. So open pollinated means they have not been genetically modified, they have not been made sterile, all that. I have some open pollinated corn. I got some stuff that you can use and make everything from it, and it gives you food, sustenance. Okay, so hybrids do not breed true. Okay, so you don't want that. Okay, save seeds every season, then rotate your stock annually. Okay, so if I got brand new heirloom seeds, let's go. If I got to use more and plant them, plant the other ones I had from last year or the year before. Get those going. So rotate your stock. Make sure you got good stuff there. And then salt and sweeteners and fats. Okay, the three kingdoms always understocked. Always understocked. This is going to be the deal with salt. 25 pounds Redmond real salt. Okay, it's mineral rich. Okay, that's the brand. A lot of things you're going to be talking about. I'll be talking about. You're going to hear here for the first time. But it tells you how to stock those. So if you want to know about Redmond's real salt, just go to Google, click the microphone, Redmond salt. How do I buy it? 25-pound bag, wholesale. And then also check Azure Standard. Then you got pink Himalayan salt. I'm familiar with that because the company I was with gets it by the giant 2,000-pound box. Himalayan pink sea salt. You need those in the 5-pound bags or 5-pound buckets. You can get those. And then pickling and canning salt for preservation. Sea salt, coarse and fine. You need those sea salts. And then your iodine salts for thyroid health. Okay, so you need those salts as well. So how many salts did we go by right there? So you went, you had the mineral rich salt with Redmond's real salt. Then you had the pink Himalayan, you had the pickling salt, you had sea salt, and you had the iodine salt. Okay, so there's several different kinds of salt you need. Get those now, get them in stock. Use 1 pound per person per year. Per year. Okay, sweeteners and plants. Raw honey never spoils. Make sure you keep it sealed. Okay, even though sometimes it looks like it got hard and all those things, if you keep it sealed, you're good to go. And then if it does get crusty or hard like that, let it continue to run under warm water and it starts to come back to its own self. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, pure maple syrup. I'm in Wisconsin where they actually grow maple syrup. So pure maple syrup. Okay, and then you get that canned or jarred, and then sucralnit. Okay. And cane sugar, whole cane sugar, date sugar, and date paste, stevia, leaf powder. I grew stevia, and you can just literally, one of them leaves, you take the leaf off it, and you go, wow. And you want to let that dry out, stevia, and you can crumble those up. You can actually buy that and plant that yourself. And then molasses, okay, for iron content and flavor. Molasses has been around a long time. Let's go with the fats and oils real quick. We talked about the olive oils. They should be in dark jars or glasses. You know, you got real good olive oil when it's in something really dark, okay, because it protects it. Coconut oil, solids, okay, multi-year shelf life. That coconut fat, avocado oil, high heat cooking, so it won't burn on you so fast. Like olive oil burn real quick if you got your heat too high. Avocado oil can take more heat. Sesame oil, okay, for flavor. Nuts and seed butters, peanut butter, almond, teenies, okay, and then whole nut seeds, vacuum plus freezer. So you can get those things vacuum sealed, freeze dried or whatever. Get your dry roasted nuts, lock those things up, and you got something for later. All right. Comfort and morale foods, okay? Things that's going to boost your people up, get everybody going, okay? When the body is fed up, but the heart is starving, okay? After 30 days of beans and rice, the soul cries for something familiar. Comfort foods are not luxury. They are a what? Ammunition against despair. So they kind of help you. So if you got something you can do some nice warm herbal teas with, then you bring out your chamomile, your peppermint, your mint, your carob, y'all, not that chocolate. Carob, okay, something real, something good for you, okay, and then you can start doing things. They got a chicory root beer, so you can just brew a little something there that's all natural, okay, and then they got all kinds of brews that you can get. So y'all not familiar with dandelion or know how to use it, you can do a dandelion tea or a brew, and then barley, roasted barley. Then you got baking supplies like carob powder, where you can make your cookies and brownies and candies and things like that. Vanilla extract, baking soda, baking powder, yeast, and dried fruits. Put those things away. Order them. Put them away. Trust me. These are things people completely miss. Should I get a stack of baking powder? I forgot all about that. Carob powder, vanilla extract, baking soda. So 30 days in, you guys like, wait a minute, we can still make cakes. We can still bake this. We can still do that with Dutch ovens and outside over a flame or a fire. Okay, spices and seasonings. Don't forget these, because one of the things Revelation talks about, Revelation 18, it says spices. Spices is done. Manufacturing is done, you guys. So that's why you need to stock up on these things right now. Cinnamon, cumin, oregano, basil, garlic, onion powder, bay leaves, peppercorns. So you can get even the dehydrated onions. You can get those in large bags and large boxes, and you can stock those up. And again, there's a lot of them already sealed, and then you can keep those for years and years. But these are things that's getting ready to stop shortly. So there's stuff already we don't have because the ships are stranded. Okay. So God forbid Revelation 18 happens this next week. Where are we? And we know it's coming. We know buy no sell is coming. We know that's here. We don't know the day or the hour, but we know we in that time. We just simply know that we're in that time. So stock up on these things now. And treats and sweets, carob chips, vacuum sealed, dried dates, figs, raisins, candies, ginger. I like the candy ginger, y'all. It's good for you. And dried apricots. Those become your new candies, especially for the youth. You can use those as motivators, as tools, as all kinds of things to help people get busy, because what they typically used to have and that was never any good for them, it quickly disappears. Okay, those things are gone, but you come out with this because you stored it. You got some things there. Okay, and then you want your crunchy textures, right? Crackers, okay, and they got hardtack ingredients. You got popcorn, you got nuts, you got seed snacks, you got granola components. So you want to make sure you have all these things already ordered and stored. Things people miss. 30 days in, you be like, I ain't got nothing left. But then you realize, oh, yes, I do. I got stuff stored over there at Sister Betty, Brother Ralph, and somebody else's house. You got stuff. If you got a family member with a container, with land, put a container on their land, store your stuff there, lock it up. But you got to get out of the city so you can store it and lock it up on your own land. You can even dig holes in the ground, cinder blocks, the big brick. They're only $1 something a piece, guys. You can get $1,000 worth. You can get 1,000 cinder blocks for less than $2,000. Okay, you know how much room or space you can build with 1,000 cinder blocks, and then you can put your little wood burning stove in there too. But you can put them blocks underground, put your tarp around them so the water don't seep in. Dig you a backhoe so the water runs out, and you got storage and put you some shelves in there. You got root cellars that this stuff can stay in. You guys can put this block foundation on your land, put a slant roof on there with that metal, forever metal that runs back, runs the water off. You got storage cellars and root cellars. You got all kinds of things, and then your childhood favorites: peanut butter, jam making supplies, oatmeal cookie ingredients, and applesauce. They will never fail you. They will never fail you. Don't forget that. Okay, now that's 3. Go with cooking, heat, and light. Anybody got anything before I go? Because I've got a ways to go. We're going to have some fun. Okay. Yes. Okay, Bill, I know you're there. You're going to give an update on those park radios in a little bit. I got you. So we got a little update on the radios, y'all. That's coming up in a little bit. So one lady already asked about them. So cooking, heat, and light. Okay. The light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. John 1-5. All right. So cooking off grid. 6 methods. 1, redundant kitchen. You want to make sure, guys. Here we go. Wood stove. It heats the home, plus it cooks. A wood stove you can use year round. Get yourself a wood stove. You don't have to buy a very big one, but I suggest you buy a decent sized one that'll heat at least between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. Okay, you may spend $700 to $1,000. Okay, and you get you a good stove. Get one that you can also cook on. Okay, then you got rocket stoves. Rocket stoves, okay, sticks only, efficient for outdoors. When I first got up on our country property here, I took a bunch of cinder blocks, built rocket stoves, and got under there, got canning tomatoes. I got to canning all those tomatoes I bought up from my farm, 4 hours away. And I was outside canning, making my tomato sauce, all those kinds of things. So you can use bricks and regular wood, and it increases the heat, it multiplies the heat like 8 to 10 times its normal roar. Okay, like when King Nebuchadnezzar said, heat it up 7 times as hot. When the rocket stove gets hot, y'all, I had one cinder block popped. Boom! I'm like, whoa, look at that. Big split going right down there. So those rocket stoves go off just off wood. So get those. And then you got solar ovens. Okay, if you have not saw solar ovens, everybody, look them up online, where you can take these wood box and styrofoam and lock everything in, use the right pot, and then seal that up, and the heat just builds up. You will see all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to be talking about that later. And then propane camp stoves. They do sell those. You get those little camp stoves. They cost like $39 to $79, and they run on propane. Dutch ovens and coals. Dutch ovens are the big, large cast iron pieces that people used to fry fish and chicken back in the day. Those are called Dutch ovens. You can even bake cakes and bread in those right over the fire, okay? Sit on the cinder block, put your fire around that, and you can cook in those. You want to get you some Dutch ovens, okay? And put those on coals. And then a hay box. A hay box, well, actually a hay box is that thermal cooker I was describing a little bit ago, because you got your wood frame, you got that styrofoam frame built in around, you got cardboard on the very inside, rounded out around a pot, and you got that sealed top that goes on that also has a styrofoam, the cardboard, all those locked in, where the heat, you got that metal, the heat builds that thermal cooker up, and it's actually cooking inside, and the only thing it's using is the sun. Okay, and you can cook your stews, food, all kinds of things in there. Look up hay box on YouTube. Go to YouTube and say, what is a hay box cooker? Don't say hay box. It's box gonna be like, hey. But so what is a hay box cooker? And then you'll see how that work and how to build those. Okay, so 3 methods minimum. So you need to have different fuels, different weathers, different failure points. Okay, so here you got redundancy in cooking. Here's 6 different ways. Count those as 3. So that's 6 different ways to cook right here. Okay, here we go. All right, so now fuel, the overlooked stockpile. Brother Kevin, I didn't stock any fuel. Well, you should be stocking fuel. Trust me. Cooking heat without fuel is not cooking, and you got not cooking and heat. You're not having it. Okay, so you got firewood. Okay, firewood is infinity. Okay, if it's dry, good, you can cook on that. 3 to 5 cords in a Wisconsin winter. Now I beg to differ. 3 to 5 wood. Now we talk about Wisconsin because that's where I'm at. I just had my neighbor told me this past winter they used 7 cords of wood. They used 7 cords, so they used a lot of wood. But they do have a big house, but they used a lot of wood. So you want to stack your wood up. Today, as I sit here talking to you, I had 2 chainsaws going because I'm already cutting down the trees that's in the way because, you know, we're relatively new to our property. Then I'm cutting down some trees that just been grown because nobody lived on the property in over 30-something years. And then trees that's just in the way from where our plant area is getting ready to be. But now that I got all these trees down, we've been cutting up and stacking and splitting firewood because my 18-year-old thinks he's Superman. He got them big old military fake muscles, and he's been splitting wood and doing all those fun things. So we found a job for him. So we've been cutting down trees and cutting up wood and stacking things up because the Bible says go to the ant. The ant immediately, once the weather breaks, the ant is out gathering everything he can. So y'all, let's start with wood. Then you also got wood pallets, and they're good. If you keep them sealed 5+ years, they're dry, they're cleaner, okay, denser, smaller storage footprint. Wood pellets are new technology, so to speak, but they're awesome to have if you got a wood pellet burner. And then propane. You can stock up propane. You can get the big major propane tank, like what's hooked to your country house, and then you can get those smaller tanks like what come on a camper or even a barbecue grill. You can buy those extra and put those in storage. You can buy those brand new, order them right online from Amazon, or you can go right into certain stores and get them. They'll charge a little bit more for them, but you can get those. Propane lasts, I can almost say forever. Propane, once it's in that tank and it's sealed, store them in a nice, cool, dark place. You're good to go there with propane. It'll last in those tanks for a very long time. And propane tanks go up to, you know, as big as you can put it. You can buy 1,000-gallon tanks or 500-gallon tanks or 250-gallon tanks, all the way down to the 15-pounders, okay, of propane, and store those. That little small tank they have on the grill, and then the little taller, the 20-pounders they have on the mobile homes you drive, and then the regular trailer homes that stay in the park, some of them have the big stand-up tanks, okay? So you can, 100 pounds, I believe those are. So you can get this and put that away. And then kerosene. Do not sleep kerosene. Kerosene is a good fuel that you can burn inside. Also, make sure you got a carbon monoxide detector and a smoke detector. But kerosene you can burn inside. You got 2 things with kerosene. Okay, 5 to 10 years of it sealed, it lasts a long time. But you get lamps, kerosene lamps. They're right there on Amazon. And then you get kerosene heaters. They give off awesome heat. And kerosene gives you the longest burn per fuel. So kerosene is awesome. Do not sleep that. Then you got white gas for the Coleman fuel, for the little Coleman campers and all those things. It's called white gas for your camp stoves, your lanterns. It's bright and it's also clean fuel, okay, for inside your tent, inside those areas. It's called white fuel or the Coleman fuel. Just look up Coleman, go to Coleman.com. Then you got your charcoal lumps, okay? As long as they're dry, outdoor cooking, never indoors. You can't use them inside, but you got something there with those charcoals. They'll keep things going. They'll keep you warm. And then solar electric. And that's been around for decades. Panels degrade over 0.5% a year. So charge controller plus a battery bank is required, but you can get those solar panels and have you a little bit of power all the time, all the time. And real quick, before I forget it, when you sleeping outside, right? Or you sleeping in a tent and it's really cold, you know they got these heat bricks. You can put these bricks, you can take a big brick, a big rock, put it right on the fire, wrap it. When it's done, you want to get that off. It's so hot, but you pull it off that fire, then you wrap it in a towel. You know you can take that in your tent and it's wrapped in that towel. It won't burn through the towel. It will not. And you can put that big old rock right there in the center of you or right there at your bed in your area, and it will keep you warm all night because rocks hold heat for a long time. So remember that. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. You may see it again. Okay. Lightning without electricity. Okay. From sundown to sleep, light is a cool thing. So you got beeswax and soil candles. Okay. So you want your lighting. So you got lighting. I said lighting. You want your lighting. So you got beeswax and soil candles. Those are what we call plant-based. So they're good to go. Long burning, clean smoke. Okay. And pour your own from your own molds. You can actually set those things up. Then you got olive oil lamps. That's been around since the beginning of time, basically. Cotton or cotton wick floats right on the oil and it just continues to burn. And because it's olive oil, again, plant-based, it burns clean. Then your kerosene lanterns, like I talked. So if you go with Ditz brand, go online with Google and say, show me the Ditz brand or the Aladdin brand, and it's going to show you some real good, nice kerosene lanterns. It's really cool. They're about 29, 39 bucks a piece. Some cost a little more, but you don't need the high-end expensive kind, okay? So they're bright, but they have smells, okay? Outdoor or vented is where you want to use these. And then your solar yard lights. Now, this is what people miss with solar lights. Go buy these solar lights. Hit up them dollar stores. Hit them up, hit them up, hit them up, and hit them up. Because you can let those charge at the day, bring them into your tent at night, bring them into your house at night when there's no electric nowhere. You got solar lights. But don't sleep what Brother Kevin finna tell you next. Buy you now solar rechargeable batteries, AA and AAA. Buy them now. Amazon has them. Solar rechargeable batteries, because at some point those solar lights go out and you just take a little solder piece, break that wire, put the new battery in, you're good to go. But you got light when there's no electric nowhere. The sun charges these up. You bring them into your tent at night, turn them upside down, your whole house just lit up. Bring them into your home at night, same thing. Okay, bring them into your cabin, your camper, or your cave, wherever you are. Don't sleep solar lights, people. Get them now. Go grab them cheap ones. Grab you some good expensive ones because those really work if you can afford it. And then let's go with LED headlamps. They got those little lights you put on your head, and those things are very bright, and they got all kinds of LED lights, so you want to get those. But then another thing you want to buy, and you can get it from Azure Standard. You can get them right off Amazon. I told you before, get those solar batteries, but you can get you AA and AAA batteries as well. Buy those. They sell those in bulk. So you want AA and AAA batteries because you got the hands-free, those headlamps that go on your head. Hands-free batteries and a stockpile at least you 200 plus AA batteries. Some of them run on AA, some of them run on AAA. But stockpile at least 200 plus AA batteries and at least 200 AAA batteries. Do those. And then if in the event of, get you some, like I told you before, get you some rechargeables as well so that you can charge those up as long as you got electricity to keep those charged. That way you get a bigger bang for your buck. But stockpile those batteries, put them away. Nobody knows you have them. It's not for the kids to play with and all those kinds of things. Solar panels plus 12 volt LED. Permanent solution. Wire to ceiling fixtures with lithium batteries. Lithium batteries, you guys know, last a long time. Then you got your crank and dynamo lanterns, crank lights, and they also got crank radios with their generator, crank that light up, and it's charging. And then you let it go and the light's on. So those because they don't go out. They're good to go. And then the other backup for lighting without electricity is glow sticks. Chemical glow sticks last 5+ years. And you just keep them stored. I still got some stored. You just take them, shake them up, break them, you got light, and that light lasts you. It's emergency light, comes right on, and you can get them in different colors, all kinds of things. Okay, so chem lights, get those now. I'm going fast, but I'm trying to make sure you guys get these goodies. So heating in winter, Wisconsin and beyond. I'm picking on us because I'm in Wisconsin. We had temperatures here drop below 38 degrees this year. Dropped below 38. The 32 bothered me, but we got through that one. But it dropped below 38. When the grid goes down to minus 20, okay, we went down past that. 72 hours maximum and typical home holds heat after the furnace fails in deep winter. So one night we heard the furnace go. It was the power. Actually, we heard the power go. We were like, "Whoa, what's going on there?" Immediately we had to get up and get on that, like, because I got a family. We can't take a chance on that because the winters don't play, everyone. So you want to make sure you got a wood stove, and you prefer a wood stove with a cooktop, a place for a pan or a pot or a skillet to sit on. make sure you got that. And your primary heat and cooking surface, make sure you got that, because you can also warm water up right there on the edge or the ledge of that so that you can wash up with that. It's key to warm water is so good. And then if you Google Mr. Buddy on just go to the Google mic, say, show me Mr. Buddy on propane heaters. It'll show you them awesome little heaters, and they take that little round propane tank. Okay, that's a couple quarts or a quart or a propane, and those last 4 to 6 hours. Those are great. They're indoor. You can use those, but make sure you do have an oxygen sensor. Make sure you do have a carbon monoxide detector. But Mr. Buddy make indoor heaters that you can use, and then they come with those little 1-pound cylinders that go right on them, and you can get those. If you catch those right now on sale, sometimes you can get them for $5.99, or you can get a pack of 4 for like right at $20 or right in that area somewhere, and then you can stock up on those. Those are very good. They'll save your life. Leave those for later, because remember, you got those other propane, the bigger tanks. Okay, so get you a Mr. Buddy heater. That's good for your camping, tenting, house just goes out. Another big thing is when all your power goes out in your house and you got a wood burning stove, or you got these areas, especially if your house is not insulated very well, close off all the other rooms. Everybody concentrate in one room. Seal that room off, close that door, put a blanket down under there. Make sure you got your carbon monoxide smoke detector and fire extinguisher. Okay, not right by the fire. Don't put it right by the fire. Put it at the farthest wall so somebody can get to it. But make sure you got that there. But you don't have to heat up the whole house when you know you're in a dire situation. You got a big house and one little small area where you just got a heater. Everybody comes into one room. Everybody brings their blankets and their long johns. Everybody come into one room, seal those windows, all those things. Make sure you every once in a while rotate the air, let some fresh air in there, that kind of thing, and get going. Put somebody on fire watch. Everybody go to sleep. This person stay up. That person stay up for 3 hours. Wake up the next person. Your turn. Do not go to sleep. You on fire watch, and put them people to work. Okay. So insulate the room strategy. Close off all but one. Heat only that space. Sleep together. Okay. Wool blankets and sleeping bags are key. Wool insulated wet. Okay. Insulated wet. Rated bags minus 24 degrees. So they work. You want to, when you get a sleeping bag, make sure it's rated for minus 24 degrees below or 20 degrees below Fahrenheit for emergencies. When you get into a sleeping bag, take off your garments, put them at the foot of your sleeping bag, and so you don't sweat. And then before you get ready to come out, put your garments back on. You're gonna feel really nice when you come out. Everything will be nice, and it'll be cold outside, but you won't have on wet clothes so you don't freeze. Other than that, it'll be a long time before you come out their sleeping bag. You'll freeze. Okay. Hot water bottles and plus the bricks. They make heated bricks, guys, that you can put in there. So heat them on the stove, wrap it in a cloth, place it in the bed, and it'll take care of you for hours. Okay. Window film, and then the door snakes. Door snakes are those pieces that go under that crack in the door, and it blocks that whole seal to keep the heat and air, cold air from coming in and heat from going out. Okay, and reduce the draft by 30+%. Cheap and high impact. So the window film, the stuff you buy, put on your windows, put on your patio doors, all that keeps all that air, that sealing, the air coming in them seeps that you don't see. You will know it then, because you can go by and you can feel that cold air. Put the plastic up, use the heat gun, the hair dryer to seal that up. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then make sure you put a towel or the door snakes under the door to keep you good there. Okay. Sanitation and hygiene. This is very important. Okay. Wash your hands. Make sure you're clean. Okay. So wash you, make you clean. Isaiah 1:16. So wash your hands. Make sure you're clean, because sanitation is the silent killer. You guys know there's a cruise ship right now where 3 people, well, I think another one died, if I'm not mistaken, where 3 people died for the hunter virus. They all got on a ship to go on a cruise. 3 people died right away, just dead. And then all of a sudden, I know they did just detect another person that also has that hunter virus, and they don't know if they they say it came from rodents and rats and all that. You going somewhere to call yourself having a good time, and you just really, it cost you your life, those kinds of things. So we want to make sure that you stay clean on your property. So more disasters more disasters are here other than ones that's hungry. So, okay, so you got some things that's going to happen. So historically, in nearly every prolonged disaster, more deaths come from contaminated water. Okay, because when you look at overseas where the animals are defecating in water, and yet people are taking that same water back home and they're drinking it because that's the only water that's out there. Yeah, they try to boil it and all that, but a lot of things you can't get out of that. So they end up with all kinds of diseases. Okay, it's just bad. Okay, so you get a lot of diseases from that, starvation, and then all that built up with exposure and or violence combined. It's just a terrible situation. So human waste, 5-gallon buckets for toilets. Let's talk about that. Okay, you only have certain ways you can use the bathroom if you don't have running water. So I'm going to give you several of those that you can do. So you got 5-gallon buckets. You can buy toilet seats that go on those, keep that in stock, and then you can use those comfortable, all those kinds of things. But everybody forgot to stock up on toilet paper. Alternatives, you got to look those up, okay? Old clothes, ripped clothes, all those kinds of things. You got to look up alternatives. It's going to sound kind of gross, but you got to do what you got to do. Then those 5-gallon buckets, you need to get those out as soon as possible. Then everybody uses them through the night. First thing in the morning, those get done. Then you got sawdust and peat moss for covers to help keep the smell and all that stuff down. Then you got things you can buy called composting toilets for a permanent install, to have them a little longer when you don't have any regular water, things like that flowing on the system. You can get composting toilets. And then you can do outhouse plans to build an outhouse. It's freezing out cold, but you got to go. And you head out to that outhouse, and you got some things like lime and quicklime. Those mask the odor, so the next person coming into the outhouse is good to go. You don't pour it in there all hard and heavy, just a little bit, sprinkle over, and you're good to go. And they work very well. And you can buy lime right now and quicklime at your Home Depot, your big box stores. Then you got your large trash bags. When you're talking about human waste, you want to make sure you use those contractor grade bags, because the worst thing you want is something you pick it up and it ruptures. Not good. It's a smelly situation. So make sure you got those big contractor bags. You seal that, and then with help, you may have to get those into a barrel or something, because there may be lots of water there, and then you can move those out of the way. And then washing and water. Bleach, rotate it yearly. You should have a stockpile of bleach. If you head on over to Dollar General and some of the dollar stores, they got bleach for $1 a gallon. Literally, still today, $1 a gallon. If you're going to use bleach to pour some into your water for sanitation and your water, don't get bleach with the scent in it, like violet or and lemon, those kinds of things. Don't do that. Just get that plain bleach, chlorine bleach, and get a little bit of that. But if you want to store bleach, get that. Make sure you got pool shock also, because it kills a lot of chemicals in the water. Then you got borax, you got washing soda, you got baking soda, you got pressure sprayer for sanitizing, you got 5-gallon jugs for wash water, and you got gray water diversion plans. So if it's gray water, you can use that now for something else. In fact, you can use that in a toilet bucket, by the way. So that helps calm things down as far as scent and odors and fragrances, those kinds of smells, those kinds of things. Okay, so don't miss that one. And then you got bugs and disease. Let's talk about that. Diatomaceous earth. If you guys have never heard of that, look it up. You can even, if you get food grade, you can even eat it. But look up diatomaceous earth and all the things it does to help kill and get rid of bugs, okay, and pests. Permanently spray for permetrian spray for clothing. Some of you guys never heard of permetrian spray. So if you go to Amazon and say, what is permetrian spray? And what it does is it's a tick, flea, mosquito repellent that you spray on your clothes, and it's good for 6, 8, 10 days. You don't have to wear the same clothes every day. It's still on there. Even if you wash them, it's still there. Some people use scent killers and all those kinds of things. So this particular one keeps all those bugs away from you, because one thing's in the country for sure are ticks. I had one the other day, tried to get on me. Got on me. Because when you're out cutting down trees, ticks fall off leaves. They fall down on you. They don't usually crawl up on you. They fall down on you. And then they work around till they find that warm spot, that perfect spot to plant them teeth. And they're hard to kill, because you can't hardly smash them, because they're already extremely flat. They really are. They just blow up like a bag when they get all their blood. But you want to make sure that you flush them. Or burn them, flush them or burn them, because you really aren't going to drown them. So just flush them so that you be done with them. So, but anyway, so you got this permetrian spray that you can go right to Amazon, and it's right there. You can go right to Walmart.com, and it's right there. Permetrian spray. You can spray that on your clothes and everything. It's a repellent for ticks, mosquitoes, and all that, and it works. Then you got mosquito netting for bedsides and windows. If you're in a house, you got no electric, nothing running, but you got to get some air in at night so you don't suffocate, you can get mosquito netting online. Also, I'm using Amazon. I'm making them a lot of money right now. But they got mosquito netting that'll fall down over the top of your bed, all around your bed. You can set sticks up, all that kinds of things. Or you can even over your tent. So you can get large mosquito netting to help keep them out. Okay? And then rodent traps and bait stations. Make sure you get them. You can use the 5-gallon buckets with the little fake platform. They come up there, cut a hole in that bucket, and put some peanut butter or cheese right there. When they go to crawl out and get it, they fall down in that bucket. Put you about this much water in a 5-gallon bucket, and they fall down in there. They drown. Okay? They drown. So you want to make sure you stay on top of rodents. You want to seal stuff out, get you some steel wool, all that stuff. Rodents multiply so fast it ain't funny. So you want to make sure you stay on top of rodents. And then sealable food storage, so you can deny rats the entry. Galvanized cans, things like that. Make sure they climb on anything, but you make sure you got that steel wool to keep them from getting through them holes and all that. But again, diatomaceous earth, all kinds of things you can use. If you got a lot of animals that crawl around a lot, tiny little insect. Also, there's something called boric acid. Boric acid, and it's a white powder like baby powder. Be careful, don't inhale it. But you take a dry paintbrush and put that boric acid in the bowl, and you go around the edges of your windows or your countertops, and you just tap it with the brush and tap it in those spots. You can't see it hardly. But the insect's so tiny, they crawl in it, it sticks to their feet. As soon as they go to get water, it turns into an acid. The water activates it and it eats them up on the spot. And then your roaches, your ants, all those things will just disappear. Okay? And that's called boric acid. It is also on Amazon. All righty. Brother Kevin, you're busy tonight. I hope I am. Let's see. Okay, personal hygiene. Let's talk about this. There's going to be some things here that a lot of you don't know about, but this is the forgotten list when we got no buy, no sale. And then we got all the empires being shut down. So people forget this about, 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in. Again, something don't smell right. That's because you didn't get any bar soap. Castile and Dr. Bronner, look those up. Good bar soap, shampoo, bars, and or liquid, conditioner, hair oils, baby wash, liquid soap, loofah. Don't forget your loofahs and your washcloths. You can get those in bulk right now. Baby lotion, foot powder, athlete foot cream. Y'all know about that itch between them toes you can't satisfy unless you spraying with that athlete foot itch. Put some of this stuff in your storage, okay? Oral and facial. Toothbrushes. You need 5 toothbrushes per person. 5 toothbrushes per person. Dollar store, everybody, all day long. 5 toothbrushes per person. Make sure you guys jump all over that. Toothpaste, baking soda, and salt. Toothpaste, if you don't have that, use baking soda and salt. Yes, baking soda and salt are abrasive. Be careful on how hard you brush your teeth. Okay, they're abrasive, but you still can use them to clean your teeth, clean your mouth. If you didn't store any toothpaste, store your toothpaste, your floss and dental picks. Dental picks are my best buddies. Dental picks are with me all the time. I always keep some dental picks, guys. I'm almost like if they say you're addicted to something, I love my dental picks. Okay, so dental picks are always where I'm at usually. Okay, and then don't forget, so your floss picks and dental picks, then your mouthwash. These are things you can buy in bulk. I think I got Listerine that's been in storage for like 4 years. So make sure you got something. Then your razors and your shaving cream. Put those in storage. Get those in bulk. Tweezers and nail clippers. Things people completely forget about. Buy them from the dollar store. Go to Dollar Tree. It's got everything. I think it's excuse me, either 125 or 135 now. And take yourself about $300, $400, $500 and just have a great time and get the stuff they got and pile it all in there. And then cotton swabs and cotton balls. You'll also find that at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. So you'll find a lot of these. Plus, Dollar General now has a $1 aisle as well. So don't sleep that, guys. So all these things we just listed, grab them. Okay. And then feminine and family stuff, reusable cloths and pads. You need those, grab them. There's another item called menstrual cups. Menstrual cups. These are reusable so that if you can't, nobody no sale, you can't go out and buy, I need these pads, I need these with wings, I need all that. Can't do it. But you got reusable. Go on Amazon and ask about the menstrual cups, the silicone, the reusables. So these save you time and money. Store those up. And then you got disposable backup supplies. So you can get those and put them away. And then you got cloths for wipes for everyone. Okay, so you got the wet ones, the moist ones, all those. And you got the dude wipes. They call them dude wipes. I remember them. They were on Shark Tank. And they're now the #1 seller for men. So you can buy wet cloths, stack them up by the cases. They last a long time. And then again, things for petroleum and jelly, all those things, store that up. Petroleum jelly and cotton balls, you can start a mean fire and it'll last a little while. But get to petroleum jelly, store it up as well. Nail care, hair brushes, make sure you got those things in stock that people miss. And again, the deodorant, okay? Crystal lasts for years. There's tons of different deodorants out there. Make sure you get you a good deodorant that's good for the body, that doesn't harm you, doesn't have those metals and toxic things in there. Make sure you get a good deodorant. Stock those things up. I'm going to start moving faster now. And then laundry without power. Okay, how do I keep my stuff clean? Okay, dirty clothes spread diseases. Clean clothes preserve dignity. Okay, so equipment. So you need 2 5-gallon buckets. Wash one, rinse in the other one. Okay, plunger style washing with the hands and the breathing washer. Boom, 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 get it going. Then your galvanized wash tub. Don't forget that, and your washboards. Okay, your wringer. If you got a hand crank, or you can spin them. Literally, people do spin clothes to get the water out of them. They do spin, and it does work. And then you hang them up. Anybody recently bought a clothesline? No. Go out and buy your clothesline so you can hang your clothes up in the yard like your grandma used to do. Hang your clothes up in the yard, okay? And then manual spin dry, 1 to 2 minutes of the cycle, okay? Get all those things going so you can get things happening, okay? And then you got 100 feet of clothesline and wooden clothespins. Dollar General, Dollar Store, Dollar Tree. Go down there, stock up on them, put them in storage. You may be the only one with clothes hanging outside, but you're gonna have clean clothes. And you're in the country, so you don't have to worry about everybody running by taking them. Okay? Okay. And then drying racks. They have foldable wooden drying racks that you use for indoors in the wintertime to keep you from going outside. They still sell those. You can get them right online. All right. So soap and additives, borax, washing soda, bar soap, homemade powders. Okay. Dr. Bonner's Sal Suds. Okay. For delicates. And then you got white vinegar, rinse aid, plus softener. Then you got lye and plant oils. Lye is very dangerous. Be careful. But it's the one. You want to make sure you use it correctly, because if you're making soap and you use too much lye, it'll burn. So you got to be very careful there and know your recipe, know what you're doing. Then you got your olive and coconut oil for soap making, and hydrogen peroxide for whitening, stain bar, okay, Phil Nethia and Zote for pre-treats. And then you got your essential oils, tea tree, all those kinds of things, okay? And then lavender fresh for freshness, okay? So there's a lot you can do there. So now, before I go to medical and natural remedies, and then I'll move faster from there, I just want to talk to Bill. I'll let Bill come on real quick and tell us the status on the radios. I think they just shipping them out, or just shipped them out, or something there. Bill, you there?
Yeah, they've been shipping. Shipping will start mid next week. They've been finishing manufacturing the radios and setting up the software and programming them. Mid next week, the shipment starts.
Oh, I'm glad. I thought they was on the water, but good to know they're not. So we'll get them. So the water, will the water prohibit us? Because I was hearing something different.
I don't know yet, because it's come from Singapore, and so Singapore may not use. I don't know yet. I will know next week.
Well, Singapore doesn't have to go through the Strait of Hormuz.
Correct. That's where the manufacturing is. That is correct.
So please keep us updated, because we were told something different. You're thinking they own the ship, the slow boat from China, that kind of thing. But Singapore does differently.
Right. And we also will be starting to put the groups together.
Right.
The team in Singapore and here and our company is going to be working together to. By the time the radios get here, we'll be ready to program them and ship them out. We're working on a couple of things behind the scenes where we're going to create a couple of channels that will be open to everybody who has a radio. One of them is the tech support. The other is a communications among the groups. They could talk to each other across the platform, which is the reason why you bought the pop radio.
Well, that's the tap channels.
Yeah, it's the tap channels.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one for their personal.
Right, and one for the personal channel as well. There is a chance for a new cross-platform of other radios that will be introduced later, but that's something we'll talk about later. People have been asking me about an order that people still want to order radios. We stopped for a minute, but we can start that back up.
Yep.
We got a faster payment method as well, and we worked that out as well. So they're on board with manufacturing videos at our request.
Okay. Yep. Somebody asked me that the other day. I said, well, let us get this order in first and make sure they're coming. But now we know they're actually coming right away now.
Right.
So the good news is, we heard something different, is now they literally had to manufacture ours fresh.
Right. Correct. Because of the customization and stuff we requested. When you get them, you will have the logo of TAP on it.
Yes, sir.
So that's very unique. And of course, our company name on the radios as well.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You're awesome. Tell the wife hello. All right. Now get your pen ready, because here we go. We finna talk about some other stuff. So now, medical and natural remedies. I am the Lord that healeth thee. Exodus 15:26. I am the Lord that healeth thee. What you eat should heal you, not kill you. I say that all the time with food and with all kinds of things. We're eating the wrong stuff. Here's the thing with medicine and all those kinds of things. We know all the stuff they give us. We need to get I'm calling on all of our medical missionaries and all our people that make tinctures and make natural remedies and all these kinds of things. Make yourself known so that we can promote your business, so that we can help people, not just us on here, but people all around there, all around the world, people all around the country, all around our country property, we know need help and healing, and they know nothing about this because doctors aren't telling them. Okay, so make yourself known. Let's go right into 5. Medical beyond the first aid kit. What are hospital stocks that you should to? what hospitals stock that you should too. You should have womb care items like sterile gauze, okay? 4x4s, you should have at least 200 of those. Trauma pads, 5x9. I was just looking at the Israel pads. Israel got trauma pads they sell, and you go on Amazon or YouTube and look for the Israeli patch. The Israeli patch for first aid, and you'll see some stuff that's outstanding. So trauma pads, quick clot, okay, or Celox. Celox is a quick clot. You pour it on a womb and it clots instantly to stop you from bleeding to death. You can order that right on Amazon, okay? Tinctures of benzoin. You can get all that, okay? And then you got roller bandages. You got Israel. That's the Israel bandage right there. The Israel bandage comes out. It's got a little clip on it. So you roll it out, then you pop that clip back and roll that on it. If you just drop the bandage, you know how you got ace bandage, and when you drop it, everything unrolls. These don't do that. Those Israeli bandages, it's got a clip that stops it from falling and dropping it. Then you just keep wrapping and secure it. And these are awesome because they got large pads that keep wounds clean and sealed. Okay, so look up those Israeli patches, guys, those Israeli bandages. And then you got sutures and staple kits. When you're bleeding to death, trust me, you're going to stitch that hole up or you're going to suture that. You can get those things. They have them. They got wound care. These things we should stop. Let's go to the right. Let's go to infectious control. Okay, so you got providone, okay, and iodine, okay, benadine, okay, isopropyl alcohol, 70% plus, silver wound gel, okay, antibiotic ointment, large jars. Okay, some people got them in boxes. Some people got a bunch of little small tubes of antibiotic ointment, all those kinds of things. Hydrogen peroxide, honey. They got a medical honey, manuka. And then you got saline, the sterile saline solution that you flush your eyes out. Some people use some of it to flush wounds out, okay? And then you got pain relievers. A lot of people still use them, ibuprofen, all those things. Acetaminophen, aspirin, I don't know. Some of those drugs we had to stay away from. But for those of you that use them, these are things you need to stock up on. There are things that you can get there, so you have to weigh what you're going to use. I will not recommend any of those things that are medicines that we, won't do it. So whatever you see there that you need, but make sure you have something in these areas. Okay, heating pads are awesome. Sometimes my kids fight over the heating pads. They love the heating pads. Okay, so you get those things. Okay, and then essentials often miss splints. Okay, the SAMs, the finger and the ankle splints. Tweezers, magnifying glasses, and then them headlamps so you can really look down into something and see what's going on with that tweezer or with that splint, because they'll make you think that they just lost a whole arm. It's right there. And that'd be a grown person. So you want to make sure you can do that. And then your blood pressure cuff, okay, the manual, and get that blood pressure cuff. You can pump up and then read the blood pressure. Make sure you got that, okay? And then your stethoscope, make sure you got that in your medical kit, your first aid kit. I just ordered 2 big first aid kits. Too late now. I'll introduce those to you guys next week. I'll show you those. And they came and they got all of this stuff in there. My sister Kay, she's got a kit. That's a 3 Angels message, a 3 Angels first aid kit. So see her and she has it for you. Then you got your trauma shears, okay? Your scalpels, scalpel kit. Scalpel, a clean knife for a clean cut when you get ready to take something out or fix something, fix some issues for that first aid situation. If you got it on your property and you just have a person show up who's a doctor or who know what they're doing or who watch YouTube enough and know they want to cut on you, but at least they got something to do it with that's right. So, and then thermometers, oral and rectal, both thermometers, oral and rectal, and then pulse oximeter. Make sure you got that, and then those backup batteries. So these are things that people miss beyond out of their first aid kit. Make sure you guys got that scalpels and alcohol and wipes and cleansers and bandages and pressure cuffs, tweezers, magnifier glasses, headlamps, everything. It could happen at night. Somebody get bit, somebody trip and fall, somebody walk into a booby trap. You can't see nothing. You can pull out your light, get everything, scalpel, tweezers, roach spray. Got something crawling on the ground and spray that and keep going right on through. Get a person bandaged up. If they got to walk, make them a wood splint and keep moving. Okay. All right. Chronic conditions and prescriptions. Plan now for what you cannot do without. So plan right now for what you cannot do without. If you definitely know that after 2 days or 3 days, your asthma act up or your diabetes go cuckoo or your blood pressure go through the roof or your sleep apnea just ain't acting right, whatever it is, plan for it now. Nitroglycerin pills, whatever it is. Pharmaceutical supply chains are amongst the first to break in an extended crisis. Insulin, blood pressure medication, thyroid, hormones cannot be stockpiled forever, but the plan must exist. So diabetes, hypertension, thyroid, heart conditions, asthma, and allergies, all kinds of things that you can do for that. Okay, so blood glucose meters plus 1,000 strips. Make sure you guys got all these things: insulin storage, refrigeration plans, everything there. Manual cuffs for, I'm told you about hypertension and all that kind of stuff. Hibiscus tea, garlic, hawthorn berries, magnesium glyceride. Okay, iodine supplements for thyroid. Make sure you got that. Kelp. Okay, they're little dose. Okay, everything that you need. And it says right here, selenium and Brazil nuts. All kinds. I didn't know anything about the Brazil nut piece, y'all, until I did my little research there. So there's all kinds of things you can have. Make sure you rotate your supplies every 6 months so you got something clean, sterile, up to date, that's not dried out, that's going to help you. And then you got the low dose aspirin and all those kinds of things. So your magnesium, make sure you guys weigh where these things are good for you. Then you got your flax and your chai. Okay, so make sure you guys weigh what's good for you and have these now. If you got asthma, okay, and allergies, and you right in that season, and you right walking through the woods, and you're going through things you never had before. Manual peak flow meters, okay, space for inhalers, nettle tea. Okay, so make sure you got everything you need to make sure you get through these situations. Okay, so that's why I put it here. Don't sleep a bit. Don't sleep. Don't miss a beat. And so you can sleep and get you some rest. Always under the counsel of your physician. Okay, print medication list and dosage and build a 6-month rotation reserve where legal as possible. Okay, so you don't want to get caught with drugs and say, well, you know all these drugs, you selling drugs. Make sure you got that list explaining what this is and have that secured and stored. And chances are you'll be good to go. But the other thing, if you're a person that takes all this medicine and nobody knows what's wrong with you, make sure you got some on you. If it's an ID bracelet, a tag, a letter in your pocket, something that tells, check this first. If I'm asleep and still sleep and been asleep for 14 hours, something wrong. So a person knows what your issues are and they can give you what you need, okay? If you're having a seizure or something, they need to know what's going on. So make sure you got something that identifies what's, because they're going to pull out your wallet. That should be the first thing they see. In case of emergency, call this or ask this or do this, okay? And if you're allergic to bee stings, if you go into anaphylactic shock, you should have an EpiPen. Make sure people know that. Some people wear the bracelet. Some people wear it around their neck, those kinds of things. Make sure you guys have something like that. Okay, and one thing I'll suggest right off the bat, because God brings stuff right to my head. If you have to leave walking, if you are in the country, and put that necklace on and make sure like you got a wallet pouch on there or ID pouch, put whatever your issue is right on the first page of that pouch. As soon as they see it right there, they'll know right off the bat if something wrong with you. And it just help you right off the bat. Okay, don't sleep that. All right, natural remedies and herbal cabinet. What grows in the field, okay, is the original pharmacy. Okay, pure air, sunlight. Okay, listen, you cannot do this. So don't abstain from that. Get you some rest, get you some exercise, get your proper diet. Okay, and then you want to be healthy. You want to be good. You want to have a proper diet. Drink enough water. Then again, trust God in everything you do. But garlic, echinacea, okay, a golden seal, charcoal, all these serve different purposes. You see them here. Cayenne pepper for bleeding and circulation. Ginger, chamomile, plantains, everything has a purpose. So make sure you check out what you never know what your situation is going to be. You should have some of these things, if not all of it, stocked up, stored somewhere in your country property. So again, your country property is your ark. How much of it do I get? Look at your family members and weigh it out like that. Enough for 1 or 2 incidents? No, enough for 4, 5, or 6 incidents, almost per person, because we don't know how long the situation is going to be, and we don't know how long before God even tells us, leave your country property, and your bread and water shall be sure. So we don't know the time, guys. We don't know. So look at your family size as you go to look at all of these items, and make sure you got enough for your family to be self-sustaining and be able to help others. All right. Dental and vision. Brother Kevin, what? Dental and vision, often forgotten. When the dentist isn't open, what then? So dental emergencies, okay? Tempering, okay, Kaivat dental filling kits. They do sell them. Clove oil for tooth pain. Oral gel, you guys know about that. That's even at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, okay, for surface relief. Dental wax for braces and sharp edges. Watch the sharp edges there, y'all. Come on. Floss picks. I told you my floss picks are right here, always right by me. My floss picks are my friend. And then you got interdental brushes, you got mouthwash, and you want to make sure it's alcohol free, y'all. Make sure you get a good, safe mouthwash for yourself, okay? And then your saltwater rinse, hydrogen peroxide rinse, baking soda, manual extraction tools. If you got to pull a tooth out, the nerves are there, it's hurting you like cuckoo, you got to get it out of your head, you got to get it out, you got to have something to pull it out with, guys. You can't go get those dirty pliers out the tool bag, okay? Vision care, backup pair of prescription glasses, reading glasses in multiple strengths, okay? Because you may go from a 100 to 350. So make sure you got those. Sunglasses for snow glare and protection. Eye wash, saline, okay? Prevent it, get the good stuff, okay? And then eye drops, lubricant and redness relief. Magnifying glasses for that fine work. Microscopes, study glasses, okay? Make sure you got the cases and the lenses, the cloth to keep them clean. Make sure you got those eyeglass cleaning cloths. Make sure you got those handy, okay? My wife buys me a case of these all the time, okay? So make sure you guys got those handy. All right. And then babies, children, and elders. Suffer the little children to come unto me. Mark 10 and 14. That's Christ talking. Newborns and infants, critical needs that people miss. So make sure you guys get a note of this, write all this down. Critical things that people miss. The most vulnerable members of the household are the infants, are your newborn babies, little babies. Okay, so feeding, breastfeeding support. Make sure you got everything there. Lactation tea to keep things going, okay? Make sure you guys got that if that's what you need. Manual breast pumps that can also bring that milk out. You want manual breast pumps because you may be without electricity, and then you're going to be able to store that milk. Glass bottles and silicone nipples. Plant-based formula reserve. Make sure you got backup. There are plant-based milks you can buy for backup for babies. Coconut and oat milk powder, okay, 12 plus months. Okay, sterilization pot, bottle brushes, bibs, birth cloth, and washables. You want that birth cloth because when you take that baby off your shoulder, you're going to see a different color back there if you don't have those birth cloths. And then diapers. Go back to the old days when they used to have the cloth diapers. I remember that, still remember. And they had the diaper pail bucket. And then they had rubber pants. Some of you older folks remember what I'm talking about. Had the rubber pants they had to put on over their diapers. Okay, so make sure you guys know about that. And then snippy fasteners or pins. They even had the big safety pins used to go in the diapers. Okay, Brother Maurice, you know what I'm talking about. Don't you act like you don't know what I'm talking about. And then wet bags. Okay, that's stuff you can store things in, 2 minimum. And then cloth wipes cut from old t-shirts. So you can recycle clothing that no one else wears. So you need those cloth wipes to keep a baby clean. That's how you're going to wash them, okay? Cut those up, use those cotton, and you can rewash that. You can rewash that and keep using those as washcloths, okay? And then you got diaper rash salve, okay? So caladulas and zinc. So you got stuff to help the baby. Then some people used to take flour, they used to parch it and use that as a diaper rash relief. Okay, wash buckets with the lids because them diapers stink when they pile up. Make sure you got wash buckets, those old 5-gallon buckets. Save those lids, okay? And then disposable backup, 1 case sealed. So if you can get those disposable diapers and put those in your storage now, don't touch them. Have those to at least get you going, but make sure you got backup with cloths for cloth diapers that you can also order right on Amazon with those pins, and then with those diaper pins that go in them, and then you can hang those out on the line when you wash those. And then let's go to health. Infant thermometer, okay, rectal accurate, okay, make sure you got that. Saline drops and nasal aspirators, okay, and then you got grip water for colic, gripe water for colic. So a baby's colic, all that kinds of things, you can help that baby out. Okay, and then chamomile tea, very diluted. Vitamin D drops, infant probiotics, powder. So for infants that say probiotics, do you know most things tell you antibiotic, but you should be looking for probiotics. Pediatric guidance book. Make sure you guys got something there. So we got to look out for the babies. Okay, so infant clothing, sleep, and transport. Okay, and these are things that people miss. Okay, guys, so we want to target that. So babies are growing every month. Okay, plan for the size ahead. Even if you're ordering clothes right now, I tell people like skip the even month and go straight from 3 month to 5 month and 5 month to 7 month, those kind of things. And same way with years, from 2 years to 4 years or 3 years to 5 years, because they give them time to grow into it. If it's big right now, that's fine. You can always roll it up and then roll it down later, and then before you know it, it'll be too small. So you're not throwing away money buying clothes every year, not at the phases we are now. Plan ahead, even with shoes. 1 size, 2 sizes big. They'll get to it. They'll get to it. Okay. So 1 size and 3 month size increments for newborns to 24 months. Okay. They're not walking in, so they won't know. But make sure you get a good one now. So you make sure you be good there. Wool socks and sleep sacks. Our babies sleep good in sleep sacks, you guys. Wool socks because it's all natural. It can breathe. Your skin can breathe. All those things. Snow suits. Okay. Buttoning bags for the winter. Okay, sun hats and warm hats both. Cotton baby blankets, 10 for, make sure you got 10 because you got laundry rotation. You got to make sure you keep those clean and coming back in there so they don't get really dirty. Make sure you no bugs and sticker bugs and all kinds of things in there. And then 10 to 15 bibs, wood soaker covers, 4 diapers, okay? Breathable. And then sleep and carry. You got a bassinet, you got co-sleepers for every month, cribs that doesn't require power. Nothing that rocks, all those kinds of things. You can even make a crib when you get out there. But if you got one in your house, get you a little crib, put a little bassinet together for the baby to sleep comfortably in its own safe space. So nobody rolls over on the baby because everybody trying to keep warm. Wool mattress toppers. Make sure you got that. Regulates the temperature. Soft baby carriers. Okay. Moby makes a good one. And you got the ring or the ring sling that goes around you. Okay. And then structured carrying for hiking. Make sure you got that. Strollers with all-terrain wheels. They usually got those bigger wheels on there with some grip on each wheel. So you can roll those up and down the road, the street for the country roads. They're good to go there. And a manual baby swing or rocker. Something you can just go right there. Plan 2 sizes ahead again, because babies grow through clothing really, really fast, especially in a crisis. So plan for ahead. Buy bigger clothes. Buy those bigger clothes for the babies. The little the baby, make sure they still got big clothes. They're not gonna even know they're big clothes. You just know you got your baby taken care of, and and you got 4, 5, 10, 15 outfits. They're good to go till they grow way up to where they don't need it. Then they'll realize something wrong. I'm 15. I'm still wearing a onesie. But make sure you get the clothes kind of big. Okay, children's. Body, mind, and spirit, from toddlers through preteen, very important. Okay, physical, size clothing, 1 to 2 sizes ahead, again, in totes. Make sure you got quality footwear with growth room. Okay, snow gear, snow pants, mittens, waterproof boots, hats, sun hats, swimwear. And for swimming, our children do not expose their bodies, everybody. They got the awesome swimsuits. Keep in mind, you can put in there, and you're not swimming in public areas anyway, but when your kids want to get in the water, you guys got your own private space. There's still clothes you can buy. It's got the legs, the skirt, the whole top, the hat, everything covered. They go down in them. You'll see them if you look them up. They got some great gear there. Education. Printed curriculums, okay? Make sure you got a full year per grade curriculum. We already have those workbooks, pencils. You can get 1,000 pencils really cheap on Amazon. They come in a nice big old box. Erasers, sharpeners, Bible story books, Ellen G. White Children's Edition, maps, atlases, dictionaries, and solar calculators. What was that, Brother Kevin? Maps, and atlases. So you'll know where you are. You can teach your kids this country, town, state, city they in, and you can teach them roads and back roads, primary roads, secondary roads, all those things. And then dictionaries, so they'll know what words mean. And then a solar calculator, because it stays charged by the sun. Get those still while you can. Emotional and play. Familiar toys, games, puzzles, art. You can do biblical puzzles all day, guys. You can make all kinds of things. You can print those things out. Art supplies, Crayolas, okay, a huge stash. Watercolors, modeling clay. And my 3-year-old just asked for some more clay yesterday. 100 plus children books per child. Make sure it says 100 plus children's books per child. Okay, and musical instruments. Make sure you got something to record a harmonica. My 2-year-old loves the harmonica, and he can't hardly blow, but he be at it. But they be busy. But it's something that they count as theirs, and they're interested in it until they can get it to work like they want it. Once they get it work like they want it, and it bugs you enough, then they're done with it. But make sure you at least have it for them to play with. And then health. Okay, so pediatric health is pediatric pain relievers. So you guys figure out what that is for you that works best for your children, whether it's liquid or chewable. The pediatric thermometer, the electrolyte powder. We were using the electrolyte drink mix, but now get the electrolyte powder because it'll last a long time. Okay, and then nutritional vitamins. They got a liquid vitamin, and then they got herbal and cough syrup. They got all kinds of things. But look out also, if you're out in the woods a lot and you don't have proper hair care and grease and oils and all those things, you can get lice very easy for your hair. So you got to make sure your kids are shampooing. You got oils and things for your hair, but make sure you get you a lice comb and tea tree oil. Tea tree helps you out with all those things. And head injury references. If a person hurts their head to get a head injury, what do we do? So there are guides that you follow. And then let's go right to our elderly. I told you guys this is going to be a big one tonight. So we're going to go. We got some good stuff going here. So I'm going to keep going. Elderly and special need provisions. Often most underprepared, most quickly affected are our elderlies, everyone. Okay. Now, in a way, you might want to say they're babies all over again. And that's the case. In a lot of situations, that is the case. But they're also elderly, so they're big, giant babies. So you got to take care of them. And in a lot of cases, you got to treat them like the babies, but you got to know they got special needs. So mobility is going to be key. Spare canes, walkers, and wheelchairs. Okay. Matter of fact, as far as special canes and all that, they'll need those, especially in the country, because you got divots in the ground, you got holes and rocks and things you can easily trip and stope over. Matter of fact, I just bought for our crew. Everybody got their walking sticks. We have a beautiful store that sells the walking sticks, and when you pull that little rubber part off, there's a little spear on the end, which is quite cool in case you get chased by a mountain lion. Get back, get back. Don't throw it. Don't ever throw your stick. Don't throw your cane. use it to stab and pull it back. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. And then hit and break. If it break in half, get both parts and use them for swords, whatever, when you're dealing with animals. Don't throw it because you have nothing else to fight with. And we're hearing too many cases of mountain lions and animals that's hurting people all over the news. Don't throw your stick. Use that spear and let them know I got it and I'm coming at you. Okay, so make sure you got grab bars and shower seats for the elderly, non-slip surface rugs. Make sure you put those down. You don't want them to fall. Elders, a lot of people are breaking hips, and sometimes a hip break for an elderly person is fatal in a lot of cases. So be very careful. And then make sure they got the reaching tools so they can reach up over the stove, over the refrigerator, in the cabinets, those kinds of things, so they don't hurt themselves. So reaching tools, and then bottom hooks or button hooks. Okay, and then magnifying glasses for the daily task, so to make sure that they're reading their prescriptions right. You can have those strong glasses, but you got to add that magnifying glass with that. Okay, and then supplies for adult incontinence. So they got the adult diapers. You can buy those in cases in stock. A lot of people sell them on Facebook because they have cases that were never opened. Guys, you can buy those and throw them in your shed real quick. Throw those in there, throw those in there, and throw those in there. Those adult incontinent diapers gives a person his independence back, because you can put them in a room, they can take care of themselves. When they can't take care of themselves, you have a way of taking care of them, okay? And don't forget the compression stockings. Those help with circulation in their legs, okay? Because a lot of people aren't moving enough, those kinds of things, compression stockings. And then multiple pair of different strengths for reading glasses and hearing aid batteries. 2-year supply of hearing aid batteries, those little tiny round batteries, 2-year supply. Pill organizer, medication list. Make sure they got a pill organizer. If you can, get it in each section is color coded. It kind of helps them out, okay? Some of those things they can see, they can still see. Know where their pills are. And make sure you got a medication list and times, all those things. Set an alarm. Set an alarm on your phone. And you can go by and check and recheck. Some people forget they've eaten when they get elderly and get various states of dementia. Some people forget they've eaten and they'll keep eating. Some people forget they took their pills and they'll take them again. So you guys got to be aware of that. Comfort and dignity. Heating pads, 12 volt, okay, rechargeable. Easy on clothing, things with Velcro or elastic. Familiar blankets and photos and hymns, something they're familiar with. One gentleman didn't react till he saw a picture of his wife who was previously in another location, or something happened, somebody got sick, or somebody passed away. The only thing he recognized was familiar pictures, all kinds of things. Okay, so and people got their familiar blanket, all those kinds of things. So again, you got to treat your elderly in a lot of cases like your new baby, and they are. They're just a little bit bigger, weigh a little bit more. Okay, so you don't have to get the birth towel, but then again, you might. Okay, large print Bibles, and then Ellen G. White books. They love to read on their own, so let people read, or you can read to them, okay? And if the opportunity exists and you got solar charger, you can do the audio Bibles on your tablet. That's also good, too, for people that can't see that well. And chairs with arms throughout the home so they can get themselves up and they don't fall. It's easy for them to grab hold of things, okay? So make sure we don't forget our elderly, okay? And then let's talk about bugs, pests, and wildlife, okay? Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, Matthew 10 and 16. Pest control, the underrated threat. Insects and rodents win when nobody is watching. One pair of mice can produce 150 offsprings in 1 year, okay? And they eat through your food stores first, okay? I mean, look at the ship right now where the 3 people died. They're saying that came from a rodent issue, a rodent infestation on that cruise ship now, where the 100 people are still there. They're trying to find a way to get them all off. They got to check them to clear them to get them all off of that ship. Okay, dimatrix earth in the 50-pound bag, boric acid powder for insects. I told you about that. You put some in a little bowl, and then you just take your little paintbrush and you go around the edges of the wall, the house, everywhere. People coming over won't see white powder all over the place. They won't see it. But the bugs walk right in it. It sticks to them. As soon as they go to get water, it activates the acid and they're dead. And then the permatrim, I told you guys about that. The permatrim is a spray. You spray on your clothing and everything, and it keeps away the ticks and the mosquitoes and everything. It's right on Amazon. A yellow bottle. They make different kind. You can get a 1-gallon jug, but they call it permatrim. Look that up, guys. Look that up right away on Amazon. You'll see that. It keeps the mosquitoes and the ticks and the bugs off you from climbing up on your clothes. They'd be like, ugh, yucky, yucky, and they fall off. Mosquito netting for windows and beds, okay? Centinela candles, the lemon and the eucalyptus oil. That keeps the mosquitoes and stuff away as well. And then they got insecticidal soap concentrate, okay? And then for rodents, you got the snap traps. You can buy those in the 50 count. None like a snap trap. Snap! You know you got them. You know you got them. Snap, snap, snap. Nothing like a snap trap. Then just use your gloves, get them off, wash it off, or do whatever you're going to do, reset it, snap again. Okay, live traps for relocation. Steel wool for sealing entry points. Hardware cloths, okay? Hardware cloths. quarter-inch mesh, okay? Sealed metal plus glass food storage to keep your stuff done and, in there. Now, if you got an owl in the area, that's cool. But if you got a cat like we got Nibbles, and our Nibbles is a mouser, she's awesome. Nibbles can't wait to get outside and find something. She back, look, she comes up to my office window and say, look what I got. I'm like, okay, Nibbles. So get you a good cat if you're a cat person, and then you're good to go. It helps keep those mice and those rodents away. Okay, larger wildlife, electric fence or chargers or solar. They got a bear resistant. Make sure you got the bear resistant trash bins. That's usually those big cans, or it's usually something that you can lock down and put a padlock on it. And literally, I heard a bear turn over one, but they couldn't get in it, so they don't come back to do it again. As long as you keep those done. Then you got motion lights, because when those lights come on, you can see that out the window. Something just come on, it tells you something there, and then your dog's going off and all those kinds of things. So it keeps you aware of what's coming up. And then game cameras, so you can also vision of, you can see the very next day or the very next week. Let me go check my trail cam, and you can see what's on your yard or what's on your property at night, and you know what's in the area. So game cameras, they got those little batteries. That's good. And then you can put out the things that's necessary. If you see they keep coming back, going to the same spot, and you find out is where you got food or compost, then you know you need to move that somewhere else or treat it differently. You don't want it by your house where you got a bear that's going to come back every night. Okay, predator deterrent. And pepper spray. Make sure you got that. And then reinforce coops and barns. If you got something you're keeping your animals in, we got a chicken coop, but we don't have chickens. It's for my dogs. But it's reinforced. Got a big gate around that. You guys saw it because I put weed barrier in there and made a giant big old playhouse for my kids. But make sure you got your stuff reinforced where you're gonna have your dogs at. Okay. Or even your children. If your children's playing outside, make sure the area, the play area, is secure. Insect bites, stings, and tick defense. Wisconsin woods equals ticks, mosquitoes, and black flies. We got some flies that will chase you down and get mad at you for leaving. We do have some mean flies in certain areas. I remember one year we went to visit someone, and there were some flies, looked like bees. They were yellow and black, but they were flies, and they chased us away. I haven't seen them since, and I'm so grateful for that. But there are ticks, there are mosquitoes, as with everywhere. So make sure you get the spray I told you about, and that'll help you, the permethrin, and treat your clothes. It lasts for 6 weeks, everybody. You spray that on your clothes, it lasts for 6 weeks. Even with washing and drying, it lasts for 6 weeks. Permethrin spray. That is for these ticks, these mosquitoes, and these biting flies. And then you got your DEET 20 and 30% for skin. Okay. And then you got your lemon eucalyptus oils. And CDC approved natural. Then you got your light color long sleeve clothing. Ordered a lot of that. Long sleeve shirts. You'll always see me in my long sleeve tees or long sleeve shirts. Okay. Make sure your pants you got your pants tucked. Okay. And make sure you got everything is done there. Make sure you got everything done there. Okay. Daily tick checks. Always look. Okay. Had a tick the other day. Sure did. That booger got in there and thought he was gonna hang out. Nope. You got to go. You got to go. And you drown them, flush them down the toilet. It's hard to drown them. You ain't gonna do that. Just flush them down the toilet. Okay. But do your head to toe check if you're in the country property. Just do it. If you got ticks, you got ticks. Get them off and keep going. Coops, barns, and screening. Fan in still air. Okay. Coop, barns, and screening. Make sure you got your coop and your barns done. Make sure you got that net and the screening to keep the bats out, keep any other things that out to go through there. And then fan, make sure you got a fan, circulate the air, get things going, and make sure you got everything laid out. Okay, now treatment, tick removal. They sell tick removal tools, everybody, pointed pliers or tick key. Okay, look those up on Amazon so you get the right thing, because you don't want to rip the tick in half and his head gets stuck in your skin. So make sure you use the right tick removal tool. Activated charcoal, for bites, all those kinds of things, okay? And stings. And then your plantain leaves, okay? Chew them and apply those, okay? Then apple cider vinegar, okay, for the itch. Baking soda paste, all kinds of things you can do there. Antihistamines, all that stuff you can do there. EpiPens. Remember, if you guys have anaphylactic history, make sure you got EpiPens. Should you have one? No, you should have about 10 or 20 of those bad boys, because you're going to be in the country for a while, rotate your stock. You won't be able to buy those all the time. So make sure you have those antiphylactic, if you're a person that has anaphylactic shock. Okay, so make sure you guys are good to go there. So pets and livestock provisions, stewardship for all under your roof. Okay, that's biblical. Pets, 12-month food reserve. You should have something for the pets. Heartworms, if you got cats and dogs, heartworms, flea and tick prevention. Okay, pet first aid kits. Make sure you got the familiar toys, beds, comfort areas. Create a carrier per animal. Okay, spare collars, leashes, ID tags. Okay, bath, grooming, and supplies. Make sure you got that. Hay, if you're feeding your horses, make sure you got hay in reserve. You can get in the country, you can get that relatively easy. You make sure you got that big mineral salt blocks. I still got one in my barn, for it came with the house, a mineral salt barn. Okay, and then make sure you got diatomaceous earth that helps out with the parasites and all those things. Newborn animal care kit. Okay, hoof trimming tools. If you got the horses, you got to get in there. You got to clean all that stuff out them hooves because the horse walks on that stuff for so long. Make sure you keep the Quonset and the barns clean as well. Okay, and then you got the birthing supplies, towels, iodine, and gloves. And then you got your manual livestock care for taking care of your dog going to give birth to puppies. You got to know how to help her out. Okay, so make sure you got those. And seasonal provisions. We got 12 of these to go through, y'all. I'm on 8, so I'm going to move a little faster. Seasonal provisions. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose. Ecclesiastes 3:1. So to everything, there is a season. So winter-specific provisions. What Wisconsin teaches every household. Okay, warmth. Wool everything because it gets so cold. Wool is natural. You want wool everything. Socks, hats, blankets, and base layer. Make sure you got wool everything. Sleeping bags rated, again, minus 20 degrees. You guys, a lot of people don't know that sleeping bags are rated. Make sure you get a good sleeping bag that's rated at minus 20 degrees. In some cases, you can get one that's rated as high as minus as you can get. Okay, and then hand warmers, 1,000+ count. Those hand warmers are packaged you can buy, and you shake them and twist them or whatever, you pop them, and then they'll warm your hands automatically. Make sure you can get those. You can get cases of those, and some people they make them now. You can put them down in your boots as well, or even in your pockets if you want. Then they make the jackets that use the little C charger plug, or the vest that also has insulation in that for C chargers, because you can have solar chargers that'll charge those up now. Because I got this big solar charger that unfolds and you can charge those up. So they do sell the heated vest and heated jackets online now. So don't sleep those as well. Those would be something you want to have several of and put those in your collection. Okay, because if you ever walking at night, you guys got to get walking, and you guys got on heated vests, you can go a lot further. And heated socks, they make them, they warm up the same way. Insulated boots with extra linings or liners for those. Long underwear, top, bottom, 5+ pair each. Long underwear will save your life because you want to dress in layers. Long underwear, then pants that's not so tight. You know, then you layer, you got the air can warm up in between there, and you're good to go. Okay, access and safety. Snow shovels, 3+ types, push, scoop, and ergonomics of snow shovels. A roof rake. What's a roof rake, Brother Kevin? And when it's snowing like crazy and all that weight's building up on your roof, you can take this big old rake, put up there, and it starts to pull a lot of that snow down out of the way. You sure do. You got some things that can help so your roof don't cave in, don't give way. Some roofs aren't designed, that people design them wrong. They're not designed to hold a lot of weight, and a lot of snow makes roofs cave in. Ice melt, okay? Make sure you got that. Calcium chloride, sand and ash, keep that ice melting, okay? Tire chains for traction in the winter, in the snow. Sometimes you don't have enough tread on your tire. You put these tire chains on it, act as tread and keep you going. In Washington State, I was in the military there. We drove semis. It'd be the summertime, but we'll drive up through Yakima, Washington. We had to go through an area called Snoqualmie Pass. So it'd be summertime. All of a sudden, there's snow, and then there's a mountain you got to climb. So we drove semis. So you got to get out, and you got to put those chains on your tractor wheels, or not the trailer wheel, but all the tractor wheels, so you can pull through the snow. Once you get over the mountain and then go back down into the summer again, you can go ahead and take those snow chains off. So high-vis resolution, high-vis vests, hats, all those kinds of things. Make sure you got some high-vis stuff in your car, okay? Make sure you wear high-vis vests and jackets, especially if you have to get out and walk in case of emergency. Winter foods and water. Freeze-protected water sources, okay? Freeze-protected water sources. Heat water bowls, okay, or for insulation. And then sprouting set up for fresh greens. We talked about that. Cold storage crops, carrots, beets, and cabbage. And then calorie-dense foods, stews, and hot grains by the bowl, okay? Get to eating there. Summer-specific provisions that people forget about. Heat, hydration, and growing season. Cooling. So battery, solar fans, and ceiling plus portable. You literally got portable fans that you can do that's solar and battery operated. Keep you nice and cool so you don't fall out. Because you got heat stroke, you got heat exhaustion, you got all those things that can come up in a blink of an eye. And then light-colored canvas traps for shade, or tarps for shade. Make sure you got light-colored tarps for shade. So this is what, if you want to be visible, you want people to see you, because those dark colors, for one, draw more heat. But you do want these, if you don't want to be seen, there's special ways you put them or hang them where you want to sit so you're not out in public. But anyway, it doesn't turn things to heat, because if you just hide under a black cloth and the sun beaming down on it, he's going to hit you like nothing. You're going to be like something. You're going to be cooked. So then mosquito nets and tents for sleeping outdoors, window shades and blackout curtains if you don't want any light to come in the daytime and you're trying to sleep real good because you want to travel at night. Get you some blackout curtain, blackout fabric. You can order it online. I use it in the studio when I'm shooting, and it's daytime. You got a lot of windows in the studio. You put the blackout curtains, no light comes through that at all. Okay, and then water soaked towels for evaporative cooling. If you just too hot, you can soak those towels, get them on, you'd be good to go. Electrolyte powder, 4 to 6 months supply for hydration. Wide mouth water bottles per person, so you can hurry up and get all that water in as fast as possible. Wide mouth water bottles, you can order those on Amazon. Insulated jugs for field work. Salt tablets for heavy labor because you lose a lot of salt with sweating. Coconut water powder, potassium rich. You can get that from the company that does all the deliveries, all the food, everything. You can get those things. Order, you can get it right on Amazon. Coconut water powder, it's available. Okay, Azure Standard delivers that. Garden and field, wide barn hats. Okay, wide brim hats. You got that wide brim hat. Okay, that keeps the sun off your neck, off your back. The back of your neck is all red. Wide brim hats, work gloves, multiple pair. Sunscreen, zinc base, multi-year. Make sure you got plenty of that. Aloe vera plant base plus bottle gel. Drip irrigation kits, soaker hoses. Those help with a lot of your plants so they don't get burned up too quick. They drip a little bit at a time. So the water, if you water the plants too much, when it's hot outside, the sun will go ahead and cook them because the water's there. Just cooked your greens and you're not going to even eat them. So make sure you got drip irrigation kits and soaker hoses. Canning supplies, jars, lids, at least 1,000 plus. And don't forget your rings for your jars. Don't forget the rings for your jars. Remember I told you last week, when you're canning and you get done canning and you put those, and your jars are sealed and they pop, boop, 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 when you're doing water bath canning, before you go ahead and write the dates and times on them, when you made it and what it is and all that. Then you screw those rings off. Screw those rings off, and then check that lid. Pick it up a little bit. You'll see that lid is sealed, right? And then you put those in storage. Don't put them in storage with the ring still on them. That ring do rust over a period of time. That ring will rust. Take that off. A lot of people didn't know that. But secure those. Make sure those rings are dry and put them away so you can reuse them later. But when you go back to see them, if it's a year or 2 years later, you're going to see they rusted. Some of them rust. So make sure you dry those off, but don't leave them on the food when you put it on the shelf. Thank you. Okay. All right. Spring and fall transitions. Okay. The two most underestimated seasons. Okay. And people miss this. Mud boots, rain jackets, ponchos. Make sure you have them. Tick prevention starts in March. So ticks come out and start running as soon as March. They're looking for people that they can latch on to. They are freeloaders. Okay. Garden seeds and soil amendments. Make sure you guys got those. Foraging guides. Look for stuff. Okay. For dandelion, ramps, and nettles. Okay. These are things that you can use. Okay. Flood preparation in low-lying properties. So as I look out, I can see our neighbor got really low-lying area. When it rains, I get no puddles on our side. He gets lots of water on their side. So we praise God, we got high land, but you want to walk your land and check those things before you buy your land. Make sure you don't have flood zones on your property. Okay. Flood preparation in low-lying property areas. Okay. Pollinator for friendly planting. And then spring laying for kidding and readiness. Okay. So listen, you want to get you some if you're doing bees, you want to get you some bees. I talked about that last week for pollination. Put them bees way back in the back of the field. So you got your honey going on back there, but those bees will also come up and work your garden for you, help you out. Don't sleep that. So that's some things you can do. You can get beekeeping sets. You can get that on Amazon as well and get your bees shipped right to you. Put them right in there and leave them alone. Go every once in a while, go out there and check them. Get you a guide on how to harvest this honey, or if you just want bees for pollination. Some you're not going to even harvest the honey. You'll leave them alone. So there's various types that you can get. Okay, take a look at that. All right, I got 2 people in the waiting room. Somebody let them in. Some people coming in at the last minute trying to get in here. All right, let's go back. Make sure I got up. Did I go too far? Okay, let's do fall. Okay, wood splitting. We're doing that right now. That's something that's done in the fall. We're actually doing this day as we talk, and yesterday we did wood splitting and stacking. Okay, and then it needs to cure for at least 6 months. And that's the reason why we started on it now. Because a lot of trees have to come down on our property. You also cut them up. We had 2 chainsaws going today, and we had a wood splitter there, and he was busy at it. So get that going now. Consider the ant. The ant doesn't waste time waiting for this. So this is fresh trees we cutting down. Plus, we still got cords of wood that you order so that you use other people's wood first. So you order your wood first. But because we have to fall trees, we have to make trees come down on our property. We got those stored too, and yet we're still ordering other wood so that we got wood that's already dried in the event of a situation that we're good to go. Because you can't burn wet wood. Okay, wood that hasn't cured yet. It'll smoke like cuckoo. Okay, we don't want that. So harvest preservation, canning, drying, root cellar. Make sure you got those things in stock. Insulation check, weather stripping. These are things you do in the fall, winter, spring, summer, fall. Get busy checking to make sure everything is insulated so you can seal things off. Okay, so that when the cold comes in, you make sure you got that head. You already hedge against that. Okay, make sure you got your weather stripping and things in place. Snow tires, chain readiness, final garden cleanup, cover crop, okay, to cover the ground, all those kinds of things. Stockpile review before snow flies. Make sure you got everything stockpiled and everything before the snow come in. And then wood stove inspection and chimney sweep. Get that chimney sweep. Get that chimney taken care of. They even sell chimney cleaner guys even come out to clean it. They got brushes go up and down the chimney, get all that soot and stuff out of there so you can get good ventilation, good exhale, get all that stuff up out of there, be good to go. So make sure that's a fall check that you guys do. Don't sleep that one. Okay, tools and textile footwear. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. Exodus 20:9. Okay, manual tools, battery free. Okay, what works when nothing else does. Wood and fire. Axe, a maul axe, and a failing wedge. So that's the big thing we use today, you guys. We break it. Not only that, cutting wood now, I got my boys out knocking wood, separating wood like you would not believe. And then we got things that we got that we put in storage that we already had. The crosscut saw that takes 2 people, 1 on each end. That's when you want to saw those big old trees that fall down on their land, or you have to take them down. And then you got a bow saw with extra blades. We got that. Hatchets and splitting hatchets, 2 different things. Okay, you got one hatchet that's designed to split the big wood. That's a big boy. And then you just got other hatchets for various things to trim things down. And then you got a sharpening stone and files to keep your stuff good to go. Keep everything sharp and crisp. Then you got a log carrier. 1 person can do it or 2 people can do it. Okay, and PV. Okay, then you got a drog knife or a fro, and that's for splitting as well, because you're going to have several kinds of wood. You know, you got your big logs, and you can produce those all the way down to the kindlings, all the way down to your good dry stuff. And you usually you want to keep wood away from your house a little distance, because one thing that does build up under there is mice and snake skins and all kinds of stuff, because they get under the wood and they feel they can hide there because it's been sitting there so long. And then when you bring wood in, then you got a particular place, if it's in the garage or right at the house, bring that in, make sure that's dry. Then you got something that's already there by the fire ready to go to keep you going for a couple of days, and you just keep rotating that wood out and making sure you're good to go. So you sit in the summer, like we started already now, building up, getting our firewood set up for the winter coming, even though we're just coming out of winter. So we started immediately. And then building and repairs, okay? Hammers, claw hammers, ball peen hammers, sludge hammers, all those things are good. Hand saws, hack saws, coping saws. Buy a lot of the manual things, not so much of the electrical things, because when the electric's gone, guys, you need to have this stuff that you can use. These are hand tools. Braces and bits and drill sets, squares and carpenters for framing. So you want your squares. The square, make sure everything is all right for you. Don't forget your levels. You got the levels. You got multiple sizes. I got one 6-foot level. I got a bunch of 2-foot, 3-foot levels. Okay, and then your chisels and your mallets, your tape measures, your pencils, and your chalk. I bought the big flat carpentry pencils. I bought a whole case for like $2. And those things last you a long time. And then for garden, make sure you got your spade, shovels, garden forks, all those things. Make sure you got your hole and you got a multiple stirrup and your draw. So certain tools and things that you can use, they got different kinds of holes that you can use to do certain things. Your rake for your steel and leaf rakes, your pruning shears, your loopers, your loopers and your saws, your hand towels, your weeding tools, or hand trolls, your weeding tools, your wheelbarrows, your spare tire. What I ordered right away, and I keep saying what I ordered because it just comes to my mind every time we talk about something. What if there's no service station? Go ahead and mute, please. What if there's no service station and you can't fix a flat? I see your hand. Give me a minute. You can't fix a flat. So you can order on Amazon tire repair kits for cars, trucks, wheelbarrows, and bicycles. Bicycle patches are different, but then you got those cars, which you got the spike go down in there. Well, first you pull the nail out, Then you got this piece you put lubricant on. You stick that down in there. Stick that spike down there. Open that hole up. Then you get this little plastic piece that hooks onto your attacher that you're gonna go down in there. Got the lubricant goes on there. Stick that in there. Pull it out. Put some water around there. Make sure you got no air leak. Tire sealed. Didn't need a gas station. Pump that bad boy up with the old hand pump. Unless if you still got electric, then you can get that plugged up real good. So order spare stuff for tires and all those kinds of fun stuff. Okay, pruning shears, we got that. Wheelbarrow, spare tires. Then let's do mechanical. Socket sets. You want both SAE and metric. Okay, American and metric. Then you want your wrenches, your combo and your adjustable, your open end wrenches and your box wrenches, pliers, your channel pliers, your needle nose pliers, and your vise. You want a bench vise mounted down to something so that you can close things up, so you can pull things off of it. Files and chisels, taps and dies. If you got to retread something, redo, put holes in things, all those kinds of things. Okay, make sure you have those. Soldering iron and propane torch. Okay, and a multimeter for battery testing. Also, I just got a welder. You want to make sure you got a welder to do light, small jobs. I see a hand. Samsung, Sister Henry, I see your hand. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Unmute. Unmute, Samsung. Unmute. Can you go? Nope. Okay. I'll come back to you. All right. What was I? Let's make sure we keep rolling. Make sure we okay. So sewing and mending and textile. When new clothes can't be bought, everybody, men clothes saves you money, saves you time. You want to do that. So sewing supplies. Make sure you guys got sewing supplies. You can order sewing kits right now, manual sewing kits right on Amazon, and you can order manual sewing supplies. You can order thread in bulk packs of all different colors, your needles, your thimbles, your rippers to rip those seams out of old clothes that nobody can wear no more, so you can reshape or size those clothes and make quilts out of them or what have you. Make sure you got all the things you need for sewing machines with no power, hand needles, assorted sizes, thimbles, all those things, so you don't keep sticking the needle through your thumb. Quality threads, cotton, polyester, 100% spools. You can get wool, you can get anything. Pins and pin cushions, seam rippers, scissors, patterns, and measuring tape. A pattern is you can go a lot of stores closed down now. What was the lady's name? What was the clothing store everybody used to get all your patterns from? The Joanne Fabric. We took sewing in high school. And you get a pattern based off whatever it is you want to sew. You get that one pattern or 2 or 3, 4, 5 patterns, and you lay that out, and you can design any dress, suit, whatever you right from those patterns. Okay, so if you guys go get you some patterns and some measuring tapes and some tailor chart. Okay, don't forget your iron. You can get a cast iron stovetop iron that's not electric. You can heat it up on your stove, on your wood burner, and then you can iron with that. Okay, and then snaps, buttons, zippers, hooks, and eye assortments. You can get those. Punch your holes in, put your grommets in for you have snaps on those. All these things you can buy. Fabrics and materials, boats, cottons, denim, flannel, wool. You can get all that. Mosquito netting by the yardage, canvas, duck cloth, even denim. All those things you can buy in bulk. Quilting, batting. Down for insulation. You want that, so you can stuff that right in there for insulation. Okay, knitting needles and crochet hooks, wool yarn, cotton yarn, heaps twine, leather scrapes, and plus an owl plus a wax thread. You can now get those things really cheap. Dollar General is closing out a lot of that stuff. You can go there and you can get you they got tons of deals. If you go past the Dollar General, right now you're gonna see signs outside, and they got tons of stuff that they're taking the prices down to bring in new stuff for the summer. Go there as they're clearing stuff out for $1, everybody. Jump all over it. Okay? Samsung, you ready for your question?
Yes, I am just putting a request out because I hear all of this, and actually, based on what we undergo here in Jamaica, a lot of persons are not ready for what you are talking about. And that's the reason why the Lord have impressed me to get a medical missionary training program set up. And with some of these equipments and things that you're actually putting across to me, maybe you have other Jamaicans on the line, I am hosting an event coming up in the stadium and quite a few places. And if we could get some of these things to literally hands out to persons that they're able to move with it and so forth, because some persons cannot totally afford to get anything. Some people are still not in a
Yes, ma'am.
home at this moment.
Not a problem.
And we need help back here. Especially, I have gotten a piece of land, and I decided to put up a medical missionary institution on it, plus to host persons, and would love to get help to pursue this event, this activity, so that it will be able to venture help persons to have somewhere. I'm a medical missionary, and I often have like little bits of training to persons, hands-on training for persons who doesn't understand or
Good.
know how to do certain things. So, and the Lord have impressed me to go much bigger, better, where in which persons get help,
Okay.
and
Well, let me tell you this.
I need
Not a problem.
that.
So we need to talk. So you need to put your number in the chat so that we can reach out. Our team can reach out to you. So please do that. And then I'll make sure we have one of these. We have one of these in our store online, but it's free. It doesn't cost you any money. We just call it the store. So therearepeople.org. Go right into the store and you'll see the Revelation 18 preparedness guide. That was last week. We'll also post this one for you as well. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, let me finish. So let me go through the rest of these real quick. So I'll come back to you. Thank you, because we got a lot to go. All right. All right. So here we go. Let me back up just 1 minute, make sure I got it. So there's your sword supplies. Okay, now let's go with footwear, the foundation of everything. Okay, when your feet stop, you stop. So you want 3 pairs of quality boots per person minimum. In storage, guys, if the feet's still growing, make sure some of them boots are a little bigger. Make sure the boots are a little bigger because you want to put socks in them anyway. But you need 3 pair of boots in the event you can't buy, can't sell per person. Daily work, cold weather, and wet weather. Plus children growing through sizes. They're going to be walking right through these boots. Daily work boots, insulated leather, okay? Replaceable laces, oil, and plus waterproof. Winter boots, felt lined, rated -40 degrees, removable liners. Rubber or muck boots, mud, barn, garden, knee high. Make sure those go up high. And then hiking boots, long distance, broken in, rugged sole. Okay, boot repair supplies. Okay, goop adhesive, replacement insole, wax, leather conditioner. So if you got good leather boots, you put that leather conditioner on. It keeps the leather from cracking and drying out. You'll be good to go. They'll last a long time. And don't forget wool socks. You want 20 plus pair per person. You can get those on Amazon and other stores, not just Amazon. Google, where do I get the best price on wool socks? Not the sisters, not polyester. Get wool socks, natural fiber, good to go. And then also don't forget foot powder. Keep those feet dry and in good wool socks, and you're good to go, even in the winter time. Keep those feet dry. As soon as they get moist, pull over, take those socks off, foot powder, dry your feet, put a new pair of socks on, and you're good to go. You just keep on trucking, okay? So don't forget that, okay? And then navigation and communication. When GPS dies and cell towers fall silent, okay, most preparedness lists stop at food and shelter. The day comes when you must find people, deliver the word, and know where you are. If you don't know where you come from, you certainly won't know where you are. So you got to know what's going on right off the bat. So navigation, quality, okay? Lymphatic compass, and you got plus a button compass backup. So a compass, you can really learn to read those very easy. If you don't know how, just go to YouTube and say, how do I read a compass? And it's going to show you how really easy. State Road Atlas, Rand McNally, and spare copies. In my van right now, in our car, we got the Rand McNally actual Atlas. You know how everybody got GPS. Y'all got all the new cars and all the fancy stuff. But under your mat, under your seat, you should have an actual Rand McNally map book. Everybody should have those. 1 to 2 to 3 of those. Give them to somebody as a gift. And they're like, what I'm going to do with this? Just hang on to it. It'll show you primary roads, secondary roads, how to get from county to county, state to state, city to city, those kinds of things. Get them. That's all you used back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Okay. Then they came out with navigation and all these things started happening. People, just like the smartphone, it kind of dumbed us down a little bit. Okay. But so use that. Get your Rand McNally maps, put them in your car under the mat. Okay. Topographical maps, country or county and regional. Very key for people to know that. County plat book. It shows you who owns all the land, all the ownership details, so you'll know who your neighbors are. A lot of this stuff is free, by the way, but you can actually buy those. Trail maps, national forestry and state parks, tell you which trails to go to and how to get there. Okay, a star chart. okay, for people wanting to be able to guide themselves with night travel, to know where you're going. If you know where the stars are, you know where to go. So you can literally read the stars and travel by that, okay? And then global and world atlas for a prophetic study. Communication, hand crank, emergency radios, okay? And you'll see those radios that you can buy on Amazon. They crank up. You got a hand crank, plus it's got a solar charger. So you got a crank charger, a solar charger, a flashlight. It's a radio, national air, ocean and aeronautical, whatever. So you can hear everything, plus AM, FM. Get those radios, okay? Two-way radios, you know, normal two-way radios give you a 2-mile radius. We got the park radios that'll give you nationwide range, no monthly payments. They ride the wave of Wi-Fi and radio frequencies or radio cell towers, all those kinds of things. Those are on the way. Then you can get a ham radio plus license and study materials for ham radio. And then citizen band or CB radios for your vehicle, house, and or station. So you guys can communicate with each other. Whistles for every household, every member. Everybody should have a whistle, whether you understand it now or not. And then when you get a whistle, get you a special code with that whistle so your family understands and nobody else knows it. So you'll know without a doubt who coming up to your house on your property, okay? And you'll know if that whistle is hostile or friendly, okay? Because that's a signal you guys establish. Everybody gets a whistle. You got a whistle, you get a whistle, you get a whistle, you get a whistle. Put those in your bag, make people know how important a whistle is. Signal mirrors and signal flags. If you got a flag on your property, somebody approaching that recognize that flag, they know to come in this way, that way, the other way, or don't come in or get help. Flags. That's what they're using for ships, for maritime. You know, when you had a pirate, you know, when you had a British flag, an American flag, a Chinese flag, they still use them today on boats. Use them to identify your property. When the American flag is upside down, that means a fortress or a place is in distress. Send help. Okay, so you got the same thing on your property. You have flags. You guys create what that flag is. Okay, then print a contact list. Remember we talked about cell phones. We're talking about communication. Cell phones kind of dumb people down. But you want to make a printed list of people that you contact in your family, ministry, and neighbors. Keep that list printed. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Keep it in your pocket. Put it somewhere where people have that so you know how to reach people in the event the phone systems go down or something else goes down. You got addresses and all kinds of things on there. Okay, and contact information as much as you can. All right, almost there. Trade and bartering skills. This is key. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Luke 6:38. This is going to be key right here. The coming barter economy, okay, when dollars don't work, hands and goods do. So your skills and labor and product and services you have works for you. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Ecclesiastes 11:1 and 2. Okay, so stockpile in the small, right here. Stockpile in the small. Items in small, diversible quantities. Not, okay, so break them down. So if you bought something in a large 50-pound, 100-pound bag, break them down into small quantities because they're easier to trade. Don't let people know you got 5,000 of those small things. Okay, just say, look, I got 1 or 2. I'll trade you that. And then you know you got value right there, okay? So they're easy to trade more than both goods. So a pound of salt trades better than a 50-pound bag of salt. Not many people going to want a 50-pound bag of salt, but they'll take a pound or half a pound of salt. So you buy it, break it down immediately. It becomes currency for you. Diversify what you offer. Multiple categories of goods, at least one skill means more opportunities to trade in any season. So if somebody got something to trade and you got a skill set, or vice versa, you got something to trade and they got a skill set, you match those up. And then 3, don't advertise your supplies. Don't tell everybody everything you have. Don't do it. Okay, discreet. Trading preserves both your reserve and your safety. Trade with the ones you trust. Trade with the trusted, okay? Don't let everybody know everything you have. Just don't do it. It protects you and your product, your safety, those kinds of things, okay? And then top barter items to stockpile. Small, valuable, divisible, and in demand. This is going to be your currency right now, guys. When there's no buy, no sale, and then when everything is destroyed, this is how trading starts again, and it starts from your country property, your art. Consumables, salt, small bags, sugar, honey, herbal teas, cooking oil, small bottles, spices, cinnamon, pepper, yeast, packets, vinegar, baking soda. Small, 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 small. Remember what we're doing here? Watch this. Daily survival, toilet paper and soap bars. No, they need it. People need soap, they need toilet paper on the daily. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, feminine hygiene items, socks, new packages, wool blankets, children clothing, aspirin, ibuprofen, those kinds of things. Then tools and fuel, so key. Matches, waterproof. You want those. Lighters, big lighters, batteries, AA, AAA, and D for flashlight. Hand tools and basic kits, duct tape and paracord. Paracord is that strong cord you see wrapped around knives and all those kinds of things. You can buy that in bulk right now, and it can lift 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds. Okay, paracord. Fire starters, cotton and jelly, gasoline, small cans, treat it. So there's things that you can do. If you need to run a chainsaw, if you need to run things, you got different types of things you can do with gas and gasoline. If vehicles aren't running, or some vehicles are running, you can do that. Okay, and then information. Seeds, sealed packets, okay, maps and atlases, books and how-to Bibles, sewing supply kits, sharpening stones, ropes, twines, wires, candles, oil lamps, wicks. All these things are barter items. Very, very, very valuable. You know how important a candle would be? When the Bible says when the oil is gone, you go to the candlelight. When the candle's gone, you go to darkness because there's no more manufacturing. A candle is going to be one of the most valuable stocks right out there. Okay, skills that trade better than goods. Okay, expertise cannot be stolen, it can only be shared. Medical, our sister just said she's a medical missionary. Wound care, herbal medicines, and midwifery, all those things work. Mechanical, engine repair, welding, blacksmithing, food preparation. If you're a canner, if you can dehydrate, if you can fermentate, and then smoking foods and various things like that, you're good to go. Sewing and repair, those are skills. Garment making, mending, okay, pattern making, you're good to go. Carpentry, framing, roofing, firewood repairs, animal husbandry, birthing, doctoring, sharing, okay, fence building, all those things. Gardening and seeding, saving seeds, grafting, soil building, and then teaching and biblical, children's school, ministry, and music. These are skills that will sell, will make you money, keep you alive, okay? Of making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Ecclesiastes 12 and 12, skills, not just supplies, okay? Not just supplies, skills. All right, and then spiritual and records. This is good. Okay, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Matthew 6 and 20. Almost there, everybody. The spiritual stockpile. What feeds the soul through dark days. The most important provisions. Okay, the library. Multiple King James Bible. Okay, have them. Multiple Bibles so you can share and read and with others. Everybody in large print if you can get it. Okay, Ellen G. White, the full set. Conflict of Ages. SDA Bible Commentary when available. Steps to Christ, hymns, concordance, Bible dictionary. Those things you can store, guys. Store those things up. Children Bible storybooks by Ellen G. White, devotional books, notebooks, journals, pens, a 10-year supply. See what that says? You should always be journaling every day, especially in that crisis. How you got over it, how you got through this. We had death, we had this, we delivered babies, we ran out of food, we did this, we did that. Journal it, keep it in order, keep it in order. It's very important, very important. It helps the next person. It helps your children. It helps everybody that comes up. We don't know how long we got. Okay, God stay his hand. We don't know how long we got. Daily practice, family worship, morning and evening. Sabbath, okay, observance. You want to do that. Sundown to sundown. Make sure you don't miss a beat. Memorize scriptures, Psalms 91, Isaiah, and Revelation. Hymns, singing without instruments, okay? Sing without it, just get used to it. Capabilities, sing without it, get through it. Prayer journals, okay? Answer prayer records, okay? Get things going. Sabbath school study and habits maintained, okay? Witness supplies. Make sure you got tracts, glow papers, all those kinds of things. Communion service, materials, okay? Make sure we don't miss a beat, okay? Unleavened bread and grape juice. Foot washing, supply. Foot washing is still done, people. It's biblical. Jesus said, look, if I can't wash your feet, you can't wash mine. You can't be a part of what I do. So let's stick with follow the model he left us. Records and documents, okay, and memory, legal identities, birth, marriage, baptism certificates. Make sure we keep track of those things. They stay in a Ziploc bag. Property deeds and titles, wills and power of attorneys, insurance policies, printed, passports, IDs. Make sure all this stuff is copied and is waterproof. It's for financial and property. Account numbers, encryptedly written. If you guys got somebody else know how to decrypt that. Tax returns, 7 years. Okay, land surveys, boundaries docs. So nobody's on your land, you own nobody else's land. Tools and equipment manuals, because a lot of the companies will be shut down. You'll have to have proof of these things. Okay, vehicle titles and VIN records. Okay, family photos for memory, photo albums, printed and copied. Family genealogy records, children's school records and art, recipe cookbooks, handwritten favorites, letters from the loved ones. Get all those things ready to go. Get those things taken care of. Okay, store in fireproof, waterproof cases. Multiple physical locations, encrypted backup on USB drives in in addition to everything else that you do. Make sure you have those things locked up and put them on flash drives. Okay, build your own extra list tonight. Don't leave with information. Leave with action. Inventory tonight. 1, walk through your home this week. List what you actually have by category. Most discover their gaps in 60 minutes. Okay, then you say, I'm missing something right off the bat. Prioritize by vulnerability, babies, elderly, medical conditions first. Those areas fall soonest under any kind of stress or pressure. Choose 5 categories per month. Don't try to fix everything. 5 categories a month means 12 months. Okay, and your house should be transformed kind of in order. Test your system. Cook 1 meal monthly without the grid. Okay, run laundry by hand once. Make a candle. Practice. So do something as if there were no power or electricity. And then network with the faithful. No single household carries all the skills. Build a circle of brothers and sisters before you need them. Get with people now. Start getting things going. Okay. And then the final charge, be ye also ready. Matthew 24:44. Those who place themselves under God's control to be led and guided by him will catch the studied trend of the events ordained by him to take place. Ellen G. White, Testimony, Volume 7, page 14. Okay, so listen, I hope this was a blessing for you guys. It was long, I'm long-winded, but I had to get this out because I wanted you guys to see something that we normally don't see. I want you guys to get what people normally miss, and so I hope this has been a blessing for you. I'm going to stop share right now and open for questions, and thank you guys for putting up with me and listening to me all this time. Any questions? Go ahead and mute my sister.
Oh.
Unless you got a question, go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. You got a question? Lynette Jordan? Who got a question?
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to mute so soon.
Okay.
No, well, I had a question. I wanted to try to catch Mr. Bill when he was on, but I know you had continued, so I didn't want to disturb you. But I know you mentioned with the phones that the phones needed to be programmed.
They're not
And
phones.
so,
They're not phones. They're radios.
well, the radios,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So I'm just wondering, I ordered a few. And I was just wondering, was I supposed to give like family names or something and information?
If you wanted to have your particular, like you ordered quite a few radios, if you want to have your particular group, so you can name them the Jordan group, and then you'll have a channel program just for your people, so you guys can only hear each other. Plus, then when you get ready for the There Are People channel or the Tab channel, you can go right there. And then we all can communicate those kinds of things. But these radios are so awesome that you can have your own private group. So if you got 6 radios or 25 radios, somebody order 25. You can have, everybody can have their own group, or if you got 3 for them children, they can have their own group. Those kinds of things. And that's what Bill does when they get to him. And then we get them there and we get them all shipped out.
Kevin, Bill's still on. It's Cheryl. Bill's still on. He's on with me now. Hold on.
Everybody, that's not just Cheryl. That's Cheryl Bill. Hey, Cheryl Bill.
Hold on a second. Wait,
Okay.
Bill wants to say something.
I'm sorry, I finally made it in. I mean, just what Kevin, what you just said is exactly right. So I'm not going to add to it. You said enough. We've been talking about it for days and centuries, so it's here now.
We got you. So yes, ma'am. So it'll be coming for you. So we'll let you know when they end. We get everybody's name. Everybody's gonna be notified on the list automatically. We just make sure your groups, which we'll be doing that any day now, talking about groups, especially now that we know they're on the way. And then we lay all that out. They'll get pre-programmed for you with your own section. You'll know what's there. Get them to you. You're good to go. That's all. I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. One other quick question.
Yes.
I was on the TAP site earlier and I wanted to make a donation, but it just said PayPal. So I'm wondering, is it possible to use like a debit or credit card instead of PayPal?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I couldn't go any further. It just said PayPal.
Yes, ma'am. Can we get your number in the chat? But thank you so very much for that. You're super awesome.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. We'll get right with you, Lynette. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. And you rarely, you don't hear us asking for money. We help people. And I just thank you for seeing that. And I just like what God has given me, because my prayer is that he gives me the opportunity every day. I pray it every day, every night, every morning, to be a blessing to somebody. Let me help people. Let us help people. Let us help people. It is just a blessing. And then we have brothers like Moritz, and a matter of fact, I see the 100, 100, 100 went up, and that's that sister. We had the blessing of them coming down to Wisconsin, and what a blessing that was when they came down to visit Sister Candace, the group, everybody came down. Then we had a family that moved up here from Chicago, and what a blessing. They were on the north side of Chicago. Now they're in the north woods of Wisconsin, y'all. Our God is awesome. Awesome. What a blessing. So thank you, my sister.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else? Any questions? Any input? Okay. What? Y'all good? Am I missing somebody? Oh, there's a hand. Okay, my sister Tassine.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Kevin, for that informative presentation again.
A lot, right?
And yeah, it was a lot. I took a lot of screenshots. So I just wanted to praise the Lord for 9 out of 10 of my acreage got sold. It's now in contract. So I just praise God for that. And I just have 1 acre left with the house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And it has a well, septic, and a garden spot. It does have a 1,500-gallon tank for water.
Wow.
If you want to catch rainwater. And yeah, so that's out there, just waiting to be sold.
How much you want for it? And where is it?
I want 125,000.
People, a 3-bedroom house on 1 acre with everything there. She wants 125,000. Okay, I see somebody. Oh, that's your hand. I was like, I saw a hand go up right away. So Tassine, put your information in the chat because that's in Tennessee, correct?
Yes, it's an hour and a half out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Country property, everybody. Country property. There you go. House already there. Everything already set up. It's move-inable, correct?
Yes.
Needs no repair.
Unless you want to put your own touch on it, that's fine.
That's what I'm talking about. God bless. There you go. So there's a country property.
Thank you.
I think you said 125,000. That's a lot. That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. Already on country property. Already has everything you need. Good to go. And it's 3 bedrooms. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Somebody had a question. Anybody else? Somebody else?
It's open. It's open.
Someone in the chat is asking the exact city.
Give it here.
I just raised my hand.
Oh, he just raised his hand. Wait, Cheryl, he just raised his hand. No. Okay, go ahead. What city to see? They want to know the exact city that property's in. I can't see the chat.
I'll put it in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rita. Okay, your hand, Cheryl, Bishop, Bill. Unmute. Take it. There you go, Cheryl. Unmute. Got it. There you got to get that unmute going. She's trying, y'all. She's fighting with the computer.
Ooh.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me know about the Jamaican thing. I know on the Office of Emergency Management side, which is the area I deal a lot with, I did get requested to help in that area for emergency management. And a lot of GIS stuff that we do are helping out, hopefully to help them out.
Okay, that was the sister that in Jamaica that does say she needs some help, and medical missionary and otherwise. My sister who said that earlier, put your number in the chat. That was my sister Henry right there. Sister Henry, Bill, match up with Sister Henry. She's got her hand up and she's waving at you. You guys exchange numbers in the chat so you guys can talk.
Okay, gotcha.
Jamaica, she needs help. She also needs help from other medical missionaries. She needs help from various people because Jamaica, went through a lot of stuff. Okay, and by God's grace, get some help to her. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and putting up with me all this time. I pray that by God's grace that this was beneficial and helpful for you all. On Sabbath at 1 o'clock, we got an awesome sermon. It's going to be something you don't hear coming off the table, off the press. By God's grace, we're going to have an awesome sermon on this Sabbath. So if you guys could tune in at 1 o'clock Central Time, join me, please, and let's just worship. We don't have a lot of time. We just really don't. Look out for brothers and sisters and help somebody, people. Listen, you'll be blessed. Trust me. Just show up and bless somebody and turn and walk away. When they talk to you, don't even respond. Just bless them and go. Even throw the hand back. and just bless somebody and just walk away and let go and let God. Watch what God do for you. So we just got to help people. We got to reach out more. Again, we want to, we not only do we need to change our character and be found righteous in God's sight, but we also, you know, don't want to be responsible for not helping somebody. We don't want to be responsible for not looking down or looking back or looking over and lifting a brother or sister up. So let's also help people and then put God first in everything that we do. That being that, God bless you all. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, God in heaven. I'm sorry, there's a question.
Kevin, I'm trying to get back into the top match, and I sent an email. So because I can't get into it, it says to send you your email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. Thank you for that. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, trying to get a chat match up. Then I see Sky. Sky has her hand up.
Hi, family. I just wanted to say thank you once again for your presentation, Brother Fuller. It's always a blessing and a reminder of the urgency of the signs of the time that we're living in. And I just wanted to share a quick encouragement to folks. Like, I met two sisters this week that were saying things like, I'm just gonna wait here for the Lord to speak to me. And I had to give them the rebuke that the Lord gave me, and here it is. Here's the rebuke. I kept waiting for him to talk once again. He's like, "You're not going to hear from me again about something that you should have obeyed from
The
who
first.
knows how long." In my case, it was from 2020. He told me to get out, and now I'm gonna come sit here again and wait to hear his voice. He said, "I'm not saying anything else. You're either going to obey or just sit there and wait for the crisis." And I said, "Wow, what a rebuke."
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you think you're doing the Lord's work by saying, "Oh, I'm waiting to hear the Lord's voice." It doesn't work like that. The call has been put out so many times. Get out, get prepared. Get out, get prepared. And you want to sit there and not build an ark. That is called delayed obedience, which is literally disobedience.
Willful
So it
disobedience.
doesn't work like that. Willful
Willful
disobedience, and you're
disobedience.
delaying it.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Thank you.
So you're delaying it. And then the second sister, she said, "Oh, my husband wants to go, but then I'm not ready to go." And I said to her, "Sister, you have children with you. And to play Lot's wife at this time, where you're sitting there waiting on, I think she's waiting on a wedding of some kind that's happening all the way in October when she could be getting ready." I said, to play Lot's wife at this time is just diabolical.
You lose your
It took
family.
her off guard, but sometimes we need to pinch somebody and say, "Get up." You need to get up and let's go. So I just
Thank you.
wanted to pinch somebody tonight who's sitting around and saying, "I'm praying about it. I'm waiting on." I don't know what you're waiting on, but the last thing, as someone that is out there on the field with boots on the ground, I can tell you, those who have farmlands for sale, I'm watching land that were very affordable. The farmers are starting to wake up and they see what's happening and they're putting up their prices.
Yep. Amen.
They're hiking up their
Amen.
prices.
They know.
There's still land where I am, so I'm still always available. Sometimes I'm overly helpful, but that's okay. Those who still need help, there are land out there.
Yes, ma'am.
$10,000 year round, you can get the land that you need. Look for the help. Get out, pack your bag,
And
and
get
go wait
going.
outside the
Thank
door,
you,
and the
Sky.
Lord will send somebody and
Yep.
say, "Here's the way," and get out. That's my
Thank you.
encouragement.
Thank you. You're a blessing. You're a blessing because I tell people this, and I told them this very last Thursday. I said, if you want to hear from God, pick up the Bible and read it out loud. He's constantly telling you, get out, get out, get out, get out. Revelation 18, Revelation 14, read the Bible. Just read, get out, come off from amongst her. It's willful disobedience. You're just deciding that you know better, than God. You
Amen.
decided in your mind and your heart, you know better than God. Not only do you cause your soul to be lost, you can cause your children to be lost also.
Amen.
Lot procrastinated and lost his family. Look at the people out of the whole world in the days of Noah, only 8 people?
Mhm.
Wow. What does the Bible talk about now? It talks about 144,000. Okay. Not talking about those that died, that were martyred, all those kinds of things. He's talking about this remnant. He's talking about 100. Where are we? we need to wake up and understand that this plane does not leave empty. This train does not pull out empty. People are going to be caught up. Some people are going to miss it. You're going to be sealed out. So when they say that as a husband or as a wife, you got to let them know, listen, this is the time of cry loud and spare not. So I like what you said, pinch them. You got to pinch them and you got to punch them. Nick, get yourself up off that couch. Where's your mind? Look, the Bible says when you see, if you don't see this now, then what you get is what you ask for, what you deserve. Because when those sins are poured out, the Bible says he saw our sins and he's going to pay it back double. So what's coming with those plagues is going to be beyond belief. So thank you. With that, we'll pray. Heavenly Father, God in heaven, we just thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for this Zoom. Lord, forgive us for our sins, our transgressions. Lord, help us with our imperfections. Help us with our, God, leaning to our own understanding. Come, bring us out of the mindset, God. Guide us, keep us, direct us, God. And if you would, God, give them a moment of clarity to see where we are, Lord, and yet grant them, if you will, another opportunity to get up today and get moving for country living, sustainability, and preparation, so we be not partakers of their sins and or their plagues. God, if we do, that's a decision we made consciously to stay in the cities as you have warned us time through time. And if we don't see it now, we don't see the prophecies, we don't see the toes of iron and clay, but we don't see it in our history books, we don't see it in the newspaper, then we are spiritually blind and physically blind, and then we can't see. So God, we just thank you for all you do. Bless everyone here on the sound of our voice, that they be blessed and guided by you. Keep them covered. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. There are people that's blind and can't see, but can't see. Your eyes wide open and can't see the times. God bless you all. Thank you. Hope I didn't bore you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kevin. Wonderful, powerful. Thank you for pushing.
God bless you.
Amen.
Marissa, I see you. God bless. Listen,
God
everybody.
bless you.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Great job.